form once you start taking those losses, once you start facing adversity. And I think that's what this tournament's all about. We're going to find out how these teams deal with the pressure of being not just on land, but with a completely different region and play styles matching up.
Absolutely. If you're just stuck with local competition, what else is there to expect? Once you face off against other regions, other nations, and all in all, every single one of these challenges right now, you're suddenly getting taken aback. Some are a bit more aggressive, some are playing away from their expectations, and immediately, right, it's fun that we're going to have such history already here for our first day. I look at the first matchup, and it's like Thailand versus HK Taiwan region, which was defining APAC for 2020, and here we are, 2023, making history again.
Making history indeed, but let's have a look at how these teams got here. Let's have a look at the groups. Let's start going over everything that is going to be going down here for Ascension Pacific 2023. The format, there is 2 groups. We've got Group Alpha, we've got Group Omega, 5 teams in each group. Top 3 teams move on into the playoffs later on, and then that's going to be a playoff stage played in a different area. The top team is able to skip that first day. They go straight into the semi-final, straight onto that Saturday game. And look, second and third, it's going to be an interesting affair to see how they all go through one another. Look, Black and Blue, talk to me quickly about Group Alpha. I feel like this is where there's a lot more heated competition. There's not a top-heavy scene.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
far.
Group Alpha and Omega, you know, the beginning and the end. In this case, we're going to start with kind of like the mosh pit of all the SEA teams we got in this tournament, as in stark contrast to what we got for Omega. But I think it's a much more, I think, less clear, defined kind of favorites to make it out of this group as compared to the other group we got on the other side.
I think it's crazy to think that you have Group Alpha, which is where SEA began. Before APAC, it was SEA, and it's all SEA teams there. On the other side, Omega, it's Bleed versus the world. You got East Asia, you got OCE represented right here by Incredible Host, you got South Asia as well, and that's where APAC really comes on in. I do wonder, though, which of these teams can actually bring out their style? We have a few favorites right now. We've been talking about it backstage. We know we love how Bleed has been playing. We love how Deep Plus has been playing. Boom Esports impressing as well. And I really wonder right now which of these teams can actually take that top spot, because you mentioned it, Matt, making it to the semifinals immediately is such a big advantage when you're really playing for that championship.
Yeah, and look, you're looking at these 10 teams as well, coming out of all their respective regions. We can go through it, but we'll go through it later once we're, of course, getting into those matchups. It's time, of course, to look at one of the many things that they are playing for here, and that is the prize pool. $100,000 US going to be split between all these 10 teams. If you come in first, not only are you going to make it into VCT Pacific League, but you'll also take home $20,000 US, and that, of course, sweetens the pot, of course, doesn't it?
I mean, for sure, but at the end of the day, I think this is all kind of consolation for the real prize, which is making it into the Pacific, right? Ascending there into a higher plane of existence and, of course, competition. And at the end of the day, that's what these teams are really vying for. The pressure and the stakes are certainly higher than ever.
Look, the money is sweet. Whoever wins, I'll be your new friend, maybe here in Thailand, just hang out with you. But at the end of the day, Korea awaits, right? It's exactly what these guys are playing for. This is their future at stake, and this is their one big chance to grab that destiny.
Yeah, the inaugural Ascension Pacific as well. So there hasn't been a chance for teams that aren't already the franchise teams to get into those leagues. This is their first opportunity. And you've got some teams here that don't even have an organization. So there could be some Cinderella stories that we make throughout the week as well. But of course, it's time to start talking, of course, into this first matchup. We've got Zerja, we've got one team. They're going head-to-head. Zerja, of course, the homegrown team here. They're local to Thailand. And of course, one team coming out of Taiwan. So we'll see how they go up against one another. Zerja, when I was watching their VODs back, at least from the grand final, they were playing outstandingly. And look, up against the likes of one team, I just don't know how they're going to go head-to-head here.
I mean, there's definitely, I think, an underdog in this situation, at least for this series. It might be a favorite, yes, especially being the home crowd favorites. But you have to look at here where Zerja are in terms of how they've placed, you know, coming in from their own stage, coming in from their own regional qualifiers. And they kind of hit the smooth spot at the right time. One might wonder, is it just perfect timing working out for them?
The hottest day, man.
Yeah, everybody was thinking it would be someone else.
Come on, did you see that format for that final day? A best of 3 into a best of 5. They played the gauntlet there, and they came out ahead against 2 absolute Thai Titans, Full Sense as well as Made in Thailand. It just really goes to show for Zerja, yes, they hit it when it was absolutely appropriate, but it has been the work, the adjustments that we've seen so far. I'm looking at XC to absolutely perform. You have Sirafop as well, who has been incredible. This Zerja squad is here to prove, though, that they are the ones that will deserve that Thailand spot, that they can bring the nation we're in right now to the next level.
And on the other side of things as well, one team, they have faced a lot of, well, they haven't faced a lot of challenges, but they're about to, right? And they are very much an unknown quantity. But we'll turn the conversation back to Xerxia. Look, if you don't know them, here they are. Alert, Xe, LBY, Rolex, and Siripop. And please, Dax, inform me as to exactly what this team is going to be able to do here today.
Yeah, Xerxia Esports, we were talking about it just a while ago. They absolutely were on fire when they needed to. Some stellar anti-stratting for them to get prepared for their playoffs. And one player that I immediately look at is Xe. He has just been an incredible controller player. In week 1, he was that duelist. Suddenly, they were like, maybe I can go back to the controller role, and he would always deliver one of the sharpest shots in the Thai scene so far. And we see from Xerxia that they love to synchronize with one another. They want to play as an absolute unit almost every freaking time. And one thing I also notice about Xerxia as well is when they are struggling, they do change the pace. They can make some very incredible plays when they're committed into duos or trios, actually.
Yeah, and it's very curious on how and when they decided to change things up, right? Like a few games into the regular season, you see Xe come back to that controller that he's kind of made himself notorious for on his previous team on NKT. Then you look at here Rolex, of course, and as well as Alert, where they've kind of swapped on roles from what they used to be, duelist to Sentinel, and vice versa. And you look at that duo to be, I think, really the core here of why they work.
And now let's talk about one team as well. We got Jiawei, we got Xiaoyu, oh no, Xiuyu. We're getting there, we got Winner, we got Rainy and Yan Li. And these 5 individuals, as we mentioned, haven't faced too much adversity, but now might be that first hurdle they've got to get across.
Well, I mean, if you look at this team here, it really is all about the give and take, about them making waves, and it has to do with that duo and the highs and lows, the valleys and peaks of Rainy and Winner, I think. They are the 2 most experienced players in the Taiwan region as a whole. We've seen them on CBT make it into APAC. We've seen them on that Griffin squad making it into APAC. And with all that history between them and then the rest of the young guns here, which are basically kind of younger prodigies they have in the scene, I think it gives them a really nice edge. And you also look at how Winner and Rainy kind of swap on roles depending on the map. They play the same roles basically, it just depends on the map, and it has to do with how that duo really synergizes.
We had to figure it out, right? How many sites are there on this map? Okay, you're playing Killjoy instead. But truthfully, one team is really that kind of team which exemplifies what HT Taiwan is all about that contact, all about how set they are with the strategies, and they've proven that they have been the most incredible at it.
Now talk to me about this head-to-head. We have Winner for one team, we've got Xe for Xerxia. Why have we picked this head-to-head?
I mean, you look at Winner, I already talked about him kind of giving a touch upon what he's been able to do on that CBD roster and what he's also been able to do on Griffin, and he is one of the most experienced players, as well as with his combination as well with him and Rainy. And what you see a lot of times is that they really lead the charge, not from in terms of being in the front line, but in terms of keeping that structure as a whole, which is something that you don't normally see from a Taiwanese squad, and I think that's a really big edge that they got here.
Yeah, you're going to see Winner on the Omen also later on, so it really will be a direct front confrontation. One thing you see from both Xe and Winner, though, they're both very, very consistent at getting frags. Winner, every, 0.9 KDR kind of rating, he would just be able to get these kills and get one team on the board. Xe as well, he's able to play utility for the team, but when he's able to find the angle, he frags out like crazy. We mentioned already how sharp he has been so far, and he's one of the players that have really catapulted Xerxia to success.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Winner, I'm looking at your Jiawei as well. You know, very clutch individuals, have done a lot of work already for one team, so you got to keep your eyes on them today. But now it is time to start putting our money where our mouths are. It's time to talk predictions. Boys, what have you gone with here?
I mean, we kind of touched upon it right there, and I think the posters went out as well. I think I'm going with Xerxia for this one. They are the home crowd favorites.
It's already there. I wanted to hype it up, but truth be told, this is their home turf, and there have been so many questions for Xerxia. Do you guys actually belong in this spot? They silenced everyone in that grand final day, though. They silenced every doubter from the Thai scene, and now they're here, and that crowd is cheering them on. They still need to prove it, though, and with a win here against, honestly, statistically, a superior team, when you look at the numbers, that will be their best foot forward, that they have really improved and impressed the whole region.
I'm keen to see exactly how they go up against the likes of one team. One team, look, they looked relatively sharp, but they were just dominant, and it feels like, you know, without that adversity that they're like not faced this whole time. I just looked at Xerxia's gameplay, and structurally, they looked so nice to watch. You know, every time they were executing their spacing going into sites as well, it was just really good. Their trade game was immaculate, and individually, especially when they're on the defense, man, some of those plays we saw from Xe, especially in the grand final, was just insane.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. You have Serapop as well. He's able to get those pushes. And Rolex has been one of their most patient players so far. Usually on Senton role, he actually decides to fill in that role where he's able to hide in the corner, lie in wait. And when you think that Cercia is down and out, Rolex comes up and is able to take everyone down. And you mentioned it, Mac. I do feel like for one team, that's the struggle. They're not used to playing against a style they're not completely accustomed with.
I mean, if you want to talk about styles already, there are some stylistic differences, I think, here in the team in terms of, we see one sometimes struggle against when a team goes completely aggressive if you're not able to make sure that they can, gather information mid-round, and that's what Cercia is really good at doing. So stylistically, I think this would be a problem for one to deal with.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see. Now, of course, the break's not too far away, but do you have any idea where this veto's going to go? Because I was looking at it before. They share similar picks. Both of them really like a little bit of Haven, so they might float that for later on in the pool. Do you think they're going to go towards something more like a Fracture, maybe a Bind could be put in there? Although one span is Fracture, so we're not going Fracky. I'm thinking Bind, maybe a Split, and then a Haven is the third. What do you think?
I do feel like you have Pearl as one of the Cercia's
Sumpah, gue tuh lagi obses banget sama Pukis,
even trying to figure out what to really do. I do agree with you though. Haven is a map that might be played here. Cercia loves to play it, even though statistically it's not the best for them. One team, they have two maps that are just
Kenapa, Ron? Halo?
Haven and Ascent. So I wonder if one team can actually get that Ascent pick right now. If Cercia prioritizes maps they're not comfortable with, then we're gonna see one team come out of the gates as strong as possible.
I mean, on the opposite side though, if you're here for Cercia, you might be wanting to look at that Fracture. There isn't much statistical evidence here in terms of one, but I think it's going to be one of the most convincing maps that we've seen so far. The Haven already has to be the linchpin. If that Haven gets banned out, it might be a big thing, but as you said, it's not necessarily part of their permaban, so it might be a very curious one that we end up with. Yeah, Lotus as well, maybe a Dark Horse, and then we might see that fly through. But yeah, if Haven is picked, it could also be a bait pick as well as a map, because if you pick, you don't have the choice of sides, and that can certainly go wrong. But look, that veto discussion, we can save it for later. It is time to go to a break. Game coming up just after this.
Sama ceweknya. Tapi kayak kurang jelas. Nggak ada yang sekeren aja doangnya. What the fuck, Ron? Woi. Lu tuh denger apa sih? Bangke dah, Arun anjir. Ron, live dong, Ron. Ini udah di rumah kan ya? Si Arun udah di rumah kan? Ih, denger apa orang cuma ngomong keren, kalau netting banget deh. Bro, gue bukan netting, bro. Gue tahu. Q melting. Kok melting? Gak bisa malam ini mau ketemu patung emas. Anjing, seru banget, Cok. Ah, babi. Pasti sama kokep di orang. Aduh, patung emas harus hormatin. Aaron udah lama anjing. Kagak udah lama nggak cekin di patung emas, Cok. Nggak ketemu patung emas. Yang di SCBD bukan, Ron? Harus coba, Ron, yang SCBD. Cuman kayak tunggu ada event dah biar seru. Kalau nggak ada event kayak kurang. Nggak kurang juga sih sebenarnya. Seru aja. Anjing, malam ini ada kayak hipna, Cok. Oh enggak deh. Oh, hari ini nggak ada apa-apa sih. Hari ini ada apa? Oh, misalnya. Ini Leonhard. Dalam bercanda mau ketemu teman gue mau ketemu dia. Gue tahu. Goblok kan. Gak bisa ikut dong gue. Ini tuh masih belum mulai. Kapan sih mulainya? Koran gak ajak-ajak gue tuh kan gue udah tahu. Gak bisa apa nggak? Gak bisa, nggak boleh dan nggak mau. Nggak pantas gue orang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to VCT Ascension
Kayak
Pacific 2023. We are 1 second away from jumping into the first game of Ascension, and I cannot wait to see how it goes. We've got Zerja, we've got one team, and look, head to head, it's Thailand, it's up against Taiwan, and no one knows what's going to happen here. We have an untested and unwanted element with one team, but Zerja, the crowd's starting to fill out. Of course, they're going to have that hometown advantage. They're going to have the crowd on their side, and with a land setup like this, you know, that can be very crucial.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we like to talk about, you know, the kind of home crowd buff where it's kind of your side of the court, but I'm wondering here still, as we've talked about throughout the opening panel, how that adversity kind of changes the playstyle of a team like One who have yet to really go through that.
Yeah, they haven't really seen this kind of crowd, this kind of setup, so I do wonder how they're gonna feel just being here in home serve of basically their opponent, right? And it's still just that dichotomy we see from one team in esports that they have just been dominating the local scene. What happens next when they're up to the region? Are they up to par, and are they ready when we've seen from the HK Taiwan region that there's always a new rep every single year?
Who do you think is going to be the favorite for the whole tournament? You know?
Oh, that's
do you have any picks before we get underway with all the action today?
Do you want the biased answer or the non-biased answer?
Please, non-biased, please.
Non-biased.
I'd love to say
answer.
bonkers. I'd love to say bonkers.
And we know you would. And honestly, I'm gonna go with
gue udah jadi pengangguran, jangan palak gue terus, weh.
The Indonesian side
Lu
with Boom
kasih gue
Esports.
dong.
I think Boom Esports got this. They did it last time in LCQ
juga lapar.
anyway.
Oh,
They
iya,
have
gue pengen
looked
beli
so
cookies
strong
lagi.
so far. Berserks has been really stepping it up. Famous God
Boleh aja
is
gue aja, tapi jangan ada
absolutely on
tulisan
par
info
right
ke gue
now,
ya
and
nanti.
we saw how they're able to
Nggak,
just
nggak.
really approach how they faced off in the grand finals against Dominatus. I do
Tapi
feel like
kangen kok.
Indonesia itself
Anjing,
is
tapi
some of the
kangen
best,
bacok.
has some of the best
Party sama
players rather
Koran,
coming from
anjing,
SEA.
seru.
I mean, you're totally right on that, and I get where you're coming
Tapi udah
from.
nggak
Aside
bisa
from maybe
jadi-
Thailand, Indonesia is the next best
bisa
country
sultan.
in terms
Udah
of
nggak kerja
how
di
many
Hawaii.
top-tier players that they've
Gue
got.
udah nggak
Let's
kerja,
not
tapi
forget,
gue mau
they
kerja
also
lagi.
qualified into LCQ
Kan
in the
anjing,
Champions
gue
last year.
kayak
Some of those
balik
guys,
dari
so
Bangkok,
there
baru
definitely
gue
is that in stake, but
balik
I have to
HWD.
go with the super team here, Bleed. I mean,
Tapi ntar gue
we
mau
know
balik
that these
HWD
guys
lagi.
are definitely the ones to look on.
Tapi
I
sekarang
think
gue lagi
everybody,
nggak
for the
kerja.
most
Gue
part,
udah nggak
for
kerja
the
di
most part,
HWD.
is looking at that
Cuman
Bleed
sekarang
roster, you just simply can't deny the
balik
amount of
lagi.
talent is just incredible, and it's going to be difficult to face off against that team.
Yeah, for me as well, a close second, I would say, is D+,
Ayo,
because, of course, they get to live and play in
Aduh, gue
Korea, and
marah.
that's where all of the
Anjing.
VCT Pacific teams are playing, so they have the
Anjing,
chance to
gue
scrim
turun.
and prac against the best
Ya,
of the
halo,
best
Aga.
in the Pacific
Pergi
region.
ke
So,
konser.
look, I feel like that is
Gue
a
jujur,
huge talking point,
lalu
but we're
resign
nowhere
lagi
near that yet,
kenapa?
of course. We're still here.
Disuruh
We're still
resign,
waiting
anjing,
for
kemarin
Zerja
itu.
to go up against one team, and let's
Disuruh
bring it back on
resign,
topic. Let's talk about Zerja. Who is
Sama
your player to
you know
watch?
who.
If there's one player
Terus
who's
kan
going to
kalau
be the
temen gue
impact
mau
man
booking lah
today,
siapa?
who is it?
Ya
I think
masih
it has
bisa
to be
lihat gue
Alert, because
masih
a lot of times we have actually
kok
seen, even
temen
though he
lu?
performs well,
Kalau lu
especially
aja
at
yang
Sharper, I'm
mau
not sure if a lot of people are
booking, tapi
familiar
kalau
with that
misalkan lu mau
former Sharper
mungkin
esports
gue
team that he was, but
masih
it was an
bisa
incredible
bookingin
team
sih kok.
that was very prevalent
Kenapa
in the
gue
local scene
panggil
as well.
Aramco sih,
But
anjing?
we see him a lot of times not
Masih-
do his
masih
best
bisa
performance, at least
booking, kan.
statistically, on the board, and that's because of the amount of space he
Panggil
takes,
enak
but
lagi.
it also could be a sign of them not supporting him well enough.
And guess what? I heard we are not
Disuruh
too
resign apa
far away.
dipecat?
So, ladies
Bukan
and gentlemen, it's time for
bukan
one of these teams to
disuruh
take
resign
their place.
sama
It's time to welcome
ini
the players
sama
to the stage.
you know who, kan gue udah bilang sama you know who, Cok. Udah lama nggak Ran, kita udah lama nggak ngobrol, Cok. Udah lama nggak ngobrol, iya. Kan gue bilang disuruh resign sama you know who itu, bro. Tapi ntar loh, kayak bulan depan gitu gue balik kerja lagi. Cuman lo kalau misalnya mau book, gue masih bisa
The
bantu
battle
booking.
in Ascension, I
Oh,
think it's gonna be really
masih
tough.
kenal head coach gitu.
It will be challenging. It won't be easy.
It's gonna be very chaotic.
I think this tournament will be like very hard and
Gue
a
juga
lot
mau
of
kayak
pressure.
gitu.
Buat tim yang tanding di Ascension,
Tapi kan
We
malah
can't just
jadi
play
berantem, Ron.
not to lose.
Jangan
We are
jangan
here
mau kayak gitu, nggak
To make
baik.
sure mistake won't
Ini
happen.
ayam beb gemoy banget. Beh,
I think
Uci
friendship
ganteng
is
cuk.
something which makes orangutan different from all other teams. Just want to say, are you guys ready? Because we're coming.
Jangan mau Ron ditanggung
As the
gitu.
home team, I want to show them that and we
Gum
have
hari ini
lots of
kagak, gum
strategy
besok.
and firepower to beat any team in the world.
Lucu banget tuh kayak bocil
Tôi thấy
ini.
những điều bất ngờ ở giải đấu này, chẳng hạn như những ứng cử viên vô địch bị loại ngay vòng bảng.
All the team here is a winner of their
Ganja.
regions. I think this tournament will be like very hard and a lot of pressure. We won't like
Who's this guy with the heart
has no fear.
hand?
Do we play against Ascension teams? Yeah, we need ready for it.
We feel like we didn't get the opportunities that we deserve.
Bonkers.
We're gonna prove why we deserve to be here.
Wait, the bucket hat is actually kind of cute.
바라고 나온 게 아니라 뽕을 들고 왔기
Ih,
때문에
pengen cok. Ih, keren.
都已经在这里了，
Nanti kalau ada acara temu tangan gue aja.
来吧。
Wait, ayo, aduh.
Itu boom, kita itu confidence, kita
Oke,
depan
kabarin,
mendominasi scene ini dan kita tuh pede
Intinya
banget.
no rusuh. Tapi lu kalau misalnya mau buka, mau minta tolong buk,
We're not gonna mess
kabarin
around.
aja Ron. Aing masih bisa bantu. Iya. Sokap tuh, kayak cakep. Dari belakang katanya tuh cakep. Ron. Kalau misalkan kayak party ketemu patung emas emang gue nggak bakal bisa sih. Cuma kalau misalkan ketemu makan gitu harusnya aman. Ih. Keren kok kali ini kita ininya VCTV production tuh so good. Who is this? Sheesh. The transition. Ya nggak ada yang mau party juga deh. Oh iya sumpah. Ayo. Paling makan McDonald's seafoodnya. Oh, aroma! Gue pengen aroma banget. Let's go.
Welcome. We're going to do our map draft between Xerxia and One Team Esports. One, you are Team A, so you have first ban. Ban Fracture.
Berdua doang.
Xerxia, your ban. Ban Pearl.
Yeah,
One,
guys.
your pick.
Pick Ascent.
Pick Ascent. Xerxia, side select. Attack side. Xerxia, your map pick.
Bentar.
Haven. One, your side select.
Okay. Defense.
Defense. Now we have bans once again. Bind, Lotus, Split. One, your ban.
Ban Lotus.
Ban Lotus. Xerxia, final ban. Bind or Split? Ban Split, play Bind.
McDonald's.
Match found.
And then side select one.
Okay. Final man ban. Defense.
Ih,
Defense. All right, going to review really
Sistem
quick. One bans
Guys,
Fracture. Xerxia
udah
ban.
yang bentar ya. Sama Fakri. Sama Fakri ya guys ya.
Watch anyway. My crew is coming through.
Bibi nggak bisa Discord ya? Udah
Bisa?
Discord.
Mana kamu?
Oh. Halo.
Halo.
Dia aku dibilang keren sama Top G.
Kamu keren.
emang keren kan, dan maps kayak Master Topes cuma versi light. Iya anjing.
Mana top G?
Top G
Oh
udah cabut
yeah,
gitu.
nice shot.
Emang gue main hari ini enggak, besok mainnya. Tapi aku pengen nonton aja. Aku mau nonton di hari ini.
Kabar all match.
Iya, soalnya aku gak ada temen main.
Oh
All
yeah.
match juga sih, anjing.
Kira udah siap belum?
Can you stop? Oh,
Oke,
iya.
sorry.
Nggak
Halimau
ada apa-apa.
Sumuyo, what the fuck?
Aku biar pada butet, Ciok.
Bayi guguk kak.
Baby, aku lagi demen banget sama apa tuh nggak?
Sama PB.
Cookies. Anjing. Maci, gue liat Arong ngetik udah bosan party. Ingat video. Weh, cepet banget, jangan ngomong oh iya aja, Fik main PB. Sene sama yang tuh PB. Kalau Dewa main PB, iya cok.
Wah ini cara beli. Oh,
Wait,
stage. Oh, oke. What the fuck?
What is this?
Gak tahu anjing, yang ngerti aing.
Oh. PB, aku mau pengen main PB.
Oh shoot.
Di bawah, Bi!
Right there.
Ini saya berapaan sih?
Go. Oh iya.
Ini 60 anjing.
Nice.
Kayak apa?
No, I don't know.
Gua nggak main Overwatch. Gua mainnya PB cok.
I'm out of here.
Jadi aku udah lama banget nggak ketemu Togi. Pengen
ready.
Apa namanya? Pengen.
Ow.
Ngomong apa sih? Udah bisa beli ya? Pengen kecap anjing. Oh musuhnya ada ini guys. Tadi ada stinger bis.
Itu dapat kayaknya dari orb, I don't know.
Diambil gitu ya?
Iya. Stage 2, let's go. Oh, dapat stinger.
Oh gue nyampe.
Kentot di camping. Oh seru sih ini sih, TDM. Kalau lagi gabut.
Mampus buta semua anjing.
Anjing ada bulldog dah. Juga.
Toaster is broken.
Masih biru-biru.
Wow, what a shot.
They're not ready.
Kagak.
Run, little man.
Wih, gue nyabun mah. Biar aku nge-fit anjing.
Oh my god, so sharp.
Banget drop ya budok.
Lu ngentot.
There's the recovery.
Still inside. Reloading.
Lah kocak. Ini gak ada phantom, let's go.
Apa nih? Wah.
Terus jatah ya? Wow. You're so dead.
They're not ready.
Anjing ultimate orb. What the fuck?
Go.
Sit down.
Get out of my way.
This is up top.
Padahal anjir, wah diambil.
I'm out of here.
Download PB gimana ya? Aku download PB. Boleh nggak?
Cutting their vision.
Gak boleh.
Kok nggak boleh anjir?
See ya.
Shit. Wah, vandal, let's go.
Oi.
Chambers looking good.
Chambers.
Of course, mate.
Korban, konspil. Nih. Nggak fokus.
Up and away. Shot her.
Ampun dong.
Mana anjing senjata baru, Cok? Oh, dia.
Senjata baru. Yang ngabu.
Bye.
Cutting their vision.
15 kills to go.
Gila ini full di carry Cok kita.
15 kill to go.
Charge your ults.
Crash is ready.
Enak banget dapet AWP nih orang.
Mampus. Anjing dibantu.
Right there.
Kamu dia pakai gecko. Dari super.
Reloading.
Kenapa terus ya?
Yo.
Gue nggak bisa nembak dia. Dan ini udah Cok. Terus.
One more kill, mau. GG.
Si carry ya guys ya. Piazza. Oh, I thought it was Plaza. It's actually Piazza.
Piazza.
I think
that's where they can
it's a
catch
match
out
stop.
One Team Esports if they're not ready. But we've seen also from One Team, they've taken advantage, or rather, they've taken precautions to try and deal with that when they're facing up against Anti-Eco Club back in the upper bracket finals when they were getting seized in, when they're getting actually charged by the opposition. They would pull back a little bit more, find those retake opportunities instead.
And look, in their grand finals, respectively, when we saw One Team going up against the Anti-Eco Club, they won.
Ketekan. Capek. Apa buffering? Bom Burapa. Emang ada bom... siapa sih? Namanya siapa? Emang bom Burapa ya?
So you can see that they definitely have it on attack. On their defense, they went even with Full Sense, and you know that Full Sense is a powerhouse in this region.
I mean, we know them, as you guys love to say, John
Bom
Olsen
Burapa ya?
Johnny Olsen.
He wrote that himself.
A classic, a true legend, and they were able to take him down, so... This we got, Agent Select.
This is it, and look, I feel like we're getting no surprises. It's the same on both sides, exactly as you would expect. So we got the mirror matchup for the first game of the day. Now, of course, on the attack, Zerja, they've started there. I'm looking up against Full Sense. They managed to go 7-5 in that first half in their grand final. Do you think we're going to see something similar, or do you think that One Team are going to be too strong on the defense?
I'm not too sure about One Team here. I did talk about them kind of being very susceptible to Zerja's playstyle, but this map, to be fair, I think is one of the more equal ones we're going to see from these two teams. And if you're ranking on One Team, the one benefit that they do have here is these guys have been together for a while, especially that duo, that core, and I'm expecting them to do good in this match otherwise.
Yeah, they've been sticking around the whole stage here all throughout the year. And one matchup I'm looking forward to is between the Jets. You got Xiaoyu on one side, you got Alert on the other. And I love that Zerja starts on the attack because they want to know how hot Alert is for today. His job is to make that space and allow the rest to actually siege on him. But if he finds those frags, if he's able to make that opening versus One Team, then that's the big chance you can get, and especially when One Team wants to play around more of a backside kind of approach.
Now,
we're talking about
Chelsea,
really? Why? China number one B. You see the map winning 100% I think.
And I've only heard
wow.
Amazing things from Jawe, being the clutch player, one of the players that is usually last alive, usually bringing it home for one team. So head-to-head here on the Sovas, both of these players have played Sova a huge amount of time, so they've not only got experience, but they've got reps. So if we're looking at them as the initiators, look, obviously Yanli is there as well, playing, that flex initiator. You've also got LBY on the KO too. But the two that I was previously speaking about, who do you think is going to have the better performance today out of everything that's gone down so far? Oh, you can answer that right now. I've heard that game one is ready. Let's kick off Ascension. It's Serja. It's one team. Let's get into Ascent.
We are
here.
This is it! Ascension is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. And one team versus Serja to kick off APAC yet again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the game. Welcome to Ascent. And welcome to what may be the beginning of incredible matches all throughout the week. That's Black and Blue on the desk with you. And Black and Blue, come on.
Yeah.
Look at this historical matchup. Still feels like 2020. HK Taiwan on one side, that amazing region, versus Thailand. Just reminds me of that AHQ versus Attack all-around rivalry from way back when.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, we're starting here on the inaugural map of Valorant of the very first game of this first Ascension Pacific. And what better team to look at aside from, you know, the home crowd versus one coming from the HK Taiwan team. But let's get into it. Round number one of map number one here, update number one.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this.
So ko tadi live Erusan juga lagi pakai jersey bumi putih
in
anjing aneh
Thailand.
banget.
I've been wanting to cast this Thai squad as well in Sersha Esports. Many have questioned why are they here? Why are the ones representing Thailand right now? Well, they proved themselves in their final day in the finals, beating mid, beating full sets. Now, can they bring the banner of Thailand to the next level, or will one team be ready for the region?
Aku baru tahu playoff itu tanggal 7 ya, bukan tanggal 5.
Sersha currently are posturing to push, and you have to be wary of the pincer potentially coming from short. But luckily, because they know there's one left to pull back, it allows Sersha all this free space early in the
game. Gak ada ya hari liburnya, hari breaknya. Ya.
So we going out.
Play it slow and
Grup stage sampai 4 Juli.
Such a strong team when they group up, especially as a trio.
5 sama 6-nya libur.
Bisa setengah matang guys.
Bukis.
Bukis tuh bisa setengah matang gak sih? Bisa kan?
Well, Xiao, you won't disappoint. That's the first takedown for them.
Yeah, it's a great pick. He finds it and backs out.
Iya, aku buffering nontonnya, bodoh banget. What? Why is it buffering? It's my internet shit.
Keeping an eye towards the doorway.
MNC lul.
Team also trying to pivot from the Raptors. Sersha pushing forward towards 3, and now it's a 1-for-1 range. One though wrapping around.
Oh, one.
Bagus sih di TKB.
He needs to pop off and fast. Tries to go for the initial target, but away. He just stays alive.
Who am I rooting for? I don't even know.
It was just such an easy stand for one team esports.
Yeah, I loved what I saw. Playing together. You can see how as a unit they make sure in retaking the A side here and send one of the biggest important power positions you would want is that short, and they make sure that it is clear nobody's coming from it. Nothing to worry about, and it gave them a much more increased sense of stability when going for that retake, not having to worry about their backs and keeping their eyes forward.
You see that heads up play though from one team. They were reeling back, pulling back into the cubby, found that pinch towards door, and especially they were able to smoke off that A main angle, enough for them to get that retake going. So anti-eco this time for the team that beat anti-eco Eco Club. I still love saying that name.
Yeah.
Wish they were here, but
it rolls off the tongue.
It rolls off the tongue really well. But Sersha, on the other hand, as per standard, they stick around and play for Cubby.
It's smart here, though, for one to play a bit back on these type of rounds. They know Sersha, when the overrun does come, it will be difficult. One-way play steer towards short is going to keep them only momentarily in place as
very smooth, very responsive.
Daripada beli mouse 8 juta, mendingan beli 360.
Harus upgrade PC juga tapi.
Early on the split one, perfect towards split two, and right now they're setting the standard yet again here on Ascent.
Upgrade lah.
Might just be the one here.
Yeah, tar.
Yeah, just getting it in the end, no problem at all. And for a guy like that, who has incredible aim, how can you not let Xiao Yu just take reign of these type of fights? But bonus, okay, got one on up.
Kinda.
One without much of a problem, at least.
Discipline.
The weaponry they bring into this round, but what I'm curious to see is that when Sersha when a map like this extends further, especially in the second half, that's when Sersha get better. They love to use these early rounds to get the read, and then they make those adjustments, which later become problems for teams.
Yeah, I've noticed here for Sersha Esports also, they have these slow starts. They usually give up initial pistol rounds, kind of try and come back coming into the second half, and it's those kind of adjustments that they make on the fly. Once they get a bit of that also, maybe we'll see one team even more tested.
And as we talked about, you know, coming in on the second half when they have the benefit of closing out on the defense, that is really where I'm worried here for one team. And we know one team, we talked about having a hot start being a big thing for them. They have to take map number 1 because map number 3 I think is going to be a lot more difficult. It does go on over to that bind, but if you look at here, one team, what they've been able to do so far, when they start losing those rounds, when Sersha starts coming back, how do they perform against that?
Yeah, what is their comeback mechanic, right? Yeah. What do they do in response besides looking for those initial picks? And while we're getting set for the third round here, for the round really of Sersha Esports, it really just goes to show here in the session already, things are getting
rank paling tinggi dia. Episode kemarin, episode ya. Yang sebelumnya aku,
You're looking forward to.
Aku dapetnya di kan yang kamu harus rank top 200.
Lu gila ya. Top 200 nya Radian kan? Radian tuh gue main di Mo 3 aja ngep kocak.
Well, I'm thinking about the potential Boom versus Sersha game.
Yang sebelumnya badal apa sih?
But truth be told, it's always great to see some SEA standouts. You always see specific teams do battle finally. We used to have this so many times so long ago. Happy we're able to cover it then. Happy we're able to cover it now.
Remember when it was called SEA Challengers and then APAC,
and now we're here.
Kenapa every team merah putih, merah hitam, merah hitam?
What an evolution! And it's just been such
a
strong show from the region itself.
This one?
And with all these small
iya sih, ada ping dikit ya. Oh iya,
it is a grand old time. So look at that. I'm looking for the art. It's
tapi kenapa hitam itu
that we're actually here in a LAN setup for Valorant.
And SEA too.
And SEA
right?
too.
For the entire Pacific, you got some great teams coming on here. 10 of the best that you're going to find in Asia.
Dingin itu, tempatnya dingin.
Tempatnya dingin banget ya.
Oh yeah, the years of us doing the VCT is there hasn't really been a consistent representative for that Hong Kong Taiwan region, and the one you kind of over and over that we do see again are those two players, Winner and Rainy. So I think in terms of consistency, they're the guys who bring it the most, and they have to lead.
Beli bundle baru nggak sih? Aku buffering sih ya. Wait.
Of this team's
for real.
Men who have just been incredible.
Lisa.
Apa?
Ada Blackpink Lisa.
Woi. Capek lah Twitch. Banyak kali gue harus subscribe ke semua streamer anjing. Lemmy Snacks. Ya, Lemmy Snacks. Gak lolos ya guys ya.
Din,
apa? Oh. Aing ngentaran abis nonton.
Ya Allah.
Aku pengen nonton
role instead became that captain actually, and it just fits so much better from their initial setups back in Split 1. Things are just so much more confident here for one team. Things are just a lot more, I'd say, synergized, and you realize here that once you have that comfortability for the squad, once you have that kind of setup, and you have the players that allow you to, which were Rainy and Winner, who have been flexing around the HK Taiwan region for so very long, the right configuration for the best team is ready to fight for APAC supremacy.
Yeah, and let's not forget that former squad, the CBT and the Griffin squad that both Rainy and Winner are on, we're not just making it into the APAC stage, we're making it into the playoffs, into the top 8, so they definitely have that winning history. But let's go into it, Sersha, into their third round, their final first gun round that we're going to see from them, and let's see if the opening picks here are going to be found, because one, looking to aggress early. Oh, they play back.
Yeah, we've seen Sersha, though, vie for mid for the past few rounds. Give them those options for a quicker rotate if ever. Xiao Yu, he's the one contesting middle right now. One team though, sticking on their default setups. Xiao Wei is the one who's happy to play an early contest if ever.
Yeah.
Waiting for intel towards B main.
Xiao Yu.
Actually, I believe Xiaoyi there was able to
Yeah,
spot on where Sersha was kind of jumping there
Lulik,
from
Lulik.
that spawn defender's side, and at least now they know the B site
Xiaoyi.
hit is coming. Smokes on out.
Holy shit, the delay is so
Weh,
many
aku teh
delay.
buffering. Weh, kayak gue gak bisa nonton 180 deh. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Terus smoke dua orang.
Waiting for the
What
time
the fuck?
being. They're not going to force themselves on the site that's been staggered already.
Yeah, that was a preemptive close of the door just to make
Terus-
sure they
terus
don't
smoke
get
di B.
hit or they don't.
Lihat gak, Be?
Enggak. Weh, aku buffering. Weh,
Galah.
kenapa ini? Bih, orang masih 5v5 tuh gue bingung anjing.
Middle insertion
Oh,
now,
alertness lurk.
picking up the pace. We haven't seen that much lurking from Sersha all throughout the career so far.
Keburik banget.
Rainy though onside, finds the 2K anyway. Up close and personal.
Holy shit,
He
Rainy.
waits on the parade. Sersha for a little bit.
Oh,
The situation. It's Xiaoyu who's able to even
wait,
things up. Rolex
Whoa.
trying to find the final few targets. Alert though will fall, and the
What?
Blade Storm is out from about.
What's
One
this?
team will get another one going.
Incredible start here
What?
from one early on in the game. We talked about the hot start that these boys have to pull out, and they certainly deliver at least 3 rounds into
No,
it.
they were
And the way that you
actually
see there, Rainy really starting that parade, really making that entire kind of avalanche go their way, hiding in hell, and he certainly brings them down with him.
It's just a frosty reception at the end of the day. One team, they're stellar at just tucking themselves away into these corners, these crevices that they can actually play off with. But then again, if Sersha doesn't clear that, if Sersha isn't aware of those kind of nooks and
Holy
crannies to
shit.
go with,
Fuck.
then they're gonna have a problem.
See
But
you,
Xiao
see.
Yu, where did that
Bye.
come from? Flies high to get the deny, and
kaget
one
lagi.
team is making a statement so far.
Yeah, he is feeling it. This is how one have to start if they want any hope of taking down some of the most terrifying teams in Thailand and Sersha. But now we move on forward. One early start here, early lead looking good. Sersha, we talked about these type of rounds being where they kind of feel out that defense, where they feel out the opposition. It's an opening pick for Winner.
What a heads-up play though from Winner, protecting Jia Wei as much as possible.
They actually control
Finds
the
that first
limit
takedown.
also.
Sersha, relatively on an equal round right now, as they slowly try to push towards the B sides. They are spotted out by the turret. Immediately Winner backing away towards the site, and here we go yet again. One team trying to play anchor here. Close connection from Jia Wei, but Alert had the stinger and was at the ready. Winner though, looking primed, never mind. Alert will shut him down.
Yeah, big picks from Alert.
But
They
he's
needed that to get into the site and get themselves some bit
Yeah.
of control, overrunning the defense,
Lo
taking
receh
that
banget
space,
sih
and they
capek.
gained them the plant.
Yeah, good start here for Alert. Gives them an opportunity. And this is where Sersha is able to recover. They know the distance that they can play off with. And if Alert can actually get in there and bridge that gap, gives them the space to work with now. Xiao Yu though, trying to find initial spam
they
angle. Sersha
touch this
hiding
again.
themselves into the boathouse, and look at Seraphop go. He's just dodging those bullets coming towards his legs. Paranoia's there. The dart though will dissuade them. And one team struggling to find the opening that they need. Alert gets 3 before he falls. Here comes Seraphop as well. And Sersha holding things down. Rainy's the only one still standing. But XC will have his number. A thrifty win for Sersha to get back into it.
Well, they retaliate one. Might not have had the best weaponry for round 3, and Sersha certainly didn't. They still make it happen. That stinger really up close is such a terrifying weapon, and we talked about Alert being one of the players to look out for in this series, and when he gets a full head of steam, when he's on a roll, you gotta ring the alarm bells, because this man is coming.
Yeah, hot and cold, he can find that kind of impact, and now he was sizzling into the round. Him getting towards that staircase gave an opportunity for Sersha to actually flood towards the site. And when you notice that one team wants to go for that close contact, that's where they actually struggle in those kinds of engagements. They're gonna have a harder time fighting Sersha if they're at the doorstep.
Yeah, we've talked about that, right? One, they love to anchor down on these sites, but they do struggle sometimes when these aggressive pushes come. Xiaowei good for the one on Rolex. He's keeping the time going. The third pick, he gets a third. Xiaowei absolutely incredible on the anchor.
Now over onto the corridor now. Tuck himself away for safety, waiting for the cloud burst to dissipate, but can't find the isolated angle. Alert instead, turning the fate of the round. And we go now, it's all 1v1. XC though, evacuating now from the shadows, so effective at repositioning.
That is great recovery here coming from Sersha. This is what we want to see from a team like this. When they go and get stuffed, these guys get even rougher.
Yeah, XC on top of things, and this is the shot though, and he is punished for it. One team with one man standing still, and well, That's another round for
Wah,
one team
looking
instead.
bad for
Nice
Sersha,
effort here
to be
from
honest.
Sersha, but
Heartbreaker, man.
Heartbreaker at the end there. He saw the timing on it too. He got the shoulder,
Iya,
but
time
could
choke
not find the
musuhnya
head.
kocak.
In that case,
Anjing,
one.
bacot banget.
They gain another and keep Sersha on that one on the board.
And Yan Lee has just been one of the biggest pickups of One Team Esports all throughout their career, actually, all throughout their team's history. Coming into stage number 2, he filled in the roles that finally gave One Team that configuration. He's usually playing something like the Initiator, like the KO. I believe he plays the Breach as well. And when they run that double controller setup, he also brings it to the table. That missing piece found by One Team, and right now they're just rolling in success.
Atau enggak langsung scrim.
I don't think we even talked about Yan Lee enough. This man was arguably the finals MVP of their, of their qualifier into this, of their grand finals in the Hong Kong, Taiwan region. So there's certainly a lot of eyes on him, and he's looking to deliver here. But Sersha put into another difficult economic state.
Yeah, Sersha, sure, they won in thrifty fashion a while ago, but you can see the struggles right now when One Team is set for them. Zhao Wei also absolutely popping off in that round. He can be so explosive, and if you are a fan of the Taiwan region, you might not know that name.
Yo, time out
from
this guy.
Other different titles, you might find that might be a little bit of a CGRS storyline that can be built with this guy. But Sersha, they go for the rotation yet again. They're trying to go for the B side instead.
Iya.
Setia.
Iya. Sersha 1,
Pasang bego kan?
I think they have a good reading situation. Yep, that scan confirms everything that they wanted to know, everything that they
holy
needed.
shit, kena knife 5 biji.
The mollies here, lots of utility for one to keep him at bay.
That's huge intel also. Everyone's suppressed right now. Sersha cannot push the way that they want.
Oh, dia pakai smoke ngocor mulu.
Xiao Yu sticking around inside the smoke still. Sersha now fended off for the time being. It's up to Winner to try and hold the line.
Yeah, difficult to explode on the side.
Smoke City depan.
Fragments, utility dropping down
Switch.
on you. The scan as well confirming that they were
Something
there
switch.
preemptively. And Winner, this is where this man.
Come on, Winner.
This is what you
loser.
Now XZ will shut that down. Huntless Fury instead is the call, and Zhao Wei will find the precise target. The nice initial spike plant. One team though trying to recover. Sersha will get the plant down instead.
Lolek.
A few rifles picked up here by Sersha. And Rolex putting himself in stellar position to get that takedown. Aldron also scouts out One Team, and now they have to disengage for the time being.
Wow, the solo vandal, the hero rifle here from XZE. Just winning them another round potentially on this swing. A 4K for the man, and what a way to retaliate. 2 thrifties now, Sersha have won.
Yeah, it's just the lesser eco is the better option, and you could hear that crowd. I wonder if our mics picked that up, but they can see that Sersha has life in them. That's the thing though with Sersha, when they're able to assess what's going on the other side, bait out that initial utility, they're very quick on the rotate, and with such a prime pick towards Winner, it gave them a chance there in that round.
Yeah, huge round here for Sersha as a whole, but of course for XCE, the way that he's able to plug in these holes, this is where he really provides the best amount of, I guess, support for this team. They let that front line create chaos, Alert do his thing, but XE is there to make sure they're kept in check.
Yeah, if you're watching Alert, you have to be wary of XE as well as Seraphop along the way, because those midline fraggers will suddenly show up and take you down in an instant. Sersha still having a bit of bites into this game so far. You can see those for both sides. They love to play a slower kind of pace, so that big explosion at the very end is what one team needs to stop just to win out some of these rounds.
Let's not forget at the start of the season, of the regular season, the split 2, they actually had XCE on the duelist role for just a bit. They tried him out there, and
just a little bit.
Yeah, he's came back into his more comfortable role, but he still certainly performs.
He had duelists.
Ada dong.
Yeah, he has.
Wait, Alert, check your right.
That roster there and then, but now Sersha decides to take the fight towards one team. They find the targets and they just take them down. It's such a big disparity of guns anyway. And that execute finally working out for Sersha in a clean manner.
You can see it here, one, even after winning a few rounds, immediately into an eco after losing one, because Sersha have been keeping some of these rounds close as well. Economic damage done, and if you're one right now, I think this round is a bit out of reach. So a few picks, damage your economy on Sersha. That's all you can really hope for, and maybe try and build some ult charge, because if you're talking about that, coming to the next round, Xerxia have got a few big ones to throw.
Yeah, and especially that lockdown, that Hunter's Fury. Once we get into the post plant, Xerxia looks even scarier. And that's one thing we've seen throughout this game. One team has been denying many a time the stellar positions that Xerxia love to play towards that post plant. Now we finally get the execute that they wanted. Zhao decides to try at least to make a bit of noise. But in the end, Xerxia will bridge that gap.
Just a bit of a love tap on the spike.
It's like, hey,
that's all it is.
What you doing here?
Just to let you guys know, this is my intention. But we talked about those ultimates coming into this, and this is where Xerxia can really turn this game around and start building up the momentum. And as we've talked about, it's about the early game reads and adjustments that Xerxia love to do to come back later in the half.
It's not even momentum right now. You know what's staring right in front of my face as we check out this replay? The economy is insanely in favor of Xerxia. There's so much money here for XC. There's a lot of cash in reserve for Xerxia as a whole. And it's because of those thrifty wins in the first place. We've seen from one team, yes, they get the round wins, but they do get picked apart bit by bit. And as of right now, another situation here for one team that if they don't get this round, they're going to be on
Lockdown was placed, but immediately destroyed by the fragment through the corner.
It should be bug.
That just completely disables that lockdown from even being part of this round. So Xerxia lose a big tool that they thought they otherwise would have had.
Yeah, nice lineup there from Yanli.
Nggak boleh harusnya.
Where to toss that fragment. In the end though, Xerxia will go back to square one. One thing they've done all throughout this game so far, go for mid control, find the opportunity towards one of the mains.
What?
Accordingly. Winner!
Multi-goal discipline kayaknya dia.
Oh no, he wasn't ready for that one. Not looking good there for one team. That was the opening they wanted.
Yeah, he had every advantage. I mean, you can really see that double take. Like, did I really see a guy? But the retaliation here from Xiao Yu is at least keeps them equalized.
Yeah, Xiao Yu
cornernya
stellar at finding those initial frags.
Apa janjian dia sengaja ya, biar
4v4. The dart is there though to display
biar pada mau
again.
trigger
That's
disiplin
what one team
terus.
wants. As soon as Xerxia comes in, they're ready for the intel. But it's just a trade of kills that lead into a 1v1. Seraphop versus Xiao Yu. Plant now going down. There's the smoke onto the high ground as well. This forces Seraphop to look above. Hiding somewhere to the generator. Early, but the blades are right on time. It's one team who get it again.
Xiao Yu here, starting off the picks with one and ending it as well. So they keep that lead and don't concede it just yet. But you can see how great the trading game of Xerxia is when they went into that site. They brought it to the 1v1 due to that. But at the end of the day, sometimes comes down to those individual players making huge rounds happen. And, I mean, if you want to talk about big players, Xiao Yu is definitely one to look out for.
Xiao Yu woke up one team there in that round. That initial kill to find the opposite jet. And here, just using the updraft for intel, he wanted to find the peak wisely there from Seraphop to actually stick around by the generator. But once he actually went for the swing, it was an absolute hit. So one team already impressing many so far.
Yeah. Updraft there.
Really technical
information of that right side corner being a bit more clear. Otherwise, though, Xerxia still have that economy we talked about that they can still buy up even after this one. If they don't take it, quick pick in the market, then they take their picking.
Winner main depan mulu anjir.
Bener-bener nggak ngecek corner tapi ya? Bisa ya?
Bener-bener nggak dicek. 4v4. We hear it on Tashuri as well, and Seraphop will find that kill onto Rain. Xiaowei over into the corner, cleared here by Xerxia. They're learning their lessons here, Black and Blue.
Yeah, and you can see how they push as a unit. At the same time, when Stairs was being pushed, they push towards lane as well. Makes it more difficult. There's just more points of angles that the one is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, we've seen for one team the two weaknesses that they've had in their run in their own local region. The first one, hard aggression out of nowhere takes them aback. The second one, though, is when they're getting cleared, when they're getting checked meticulously by their opponent, and that does become a problem. Xerxia taking that second approach a little bit slower, a little bit more akin to what they're used to so far and how they dealt with Full Sense as well as Made in Thailand. But it works well against one team.
You know, it makes me kind of wonder why one
team
see their attacking side sometimes where they really like to wait early on in the round, see if an aggressive push comes, and I have to think it's a byproduct of the region that they play, where, you know, Hong Kong, Taiwan, sometimes there are those teams that just have random spurts of aggression, and I think that's what they're really trying to expect here, but Xerxia are not that type of team that just sometimes, you know, run you down. They really like to play those slow defaults and you pick apart the defense.
Yeah, and Xerxia also, I do feel that maybe, I'm not completely sure about this, but the consensus really has been Sersha is one of the stronger teams in the Thai region that can anti-strat the opposition. That's how they got prepared for their own finals run. That's how they got prepared for all of the playoffs games that they had in the first place. And yeah, give big props to Tepic as well as Natito in how they really set up the team. Sersha is such a wise squad that is willing to adjust on the fly just to help out their matchup against specific opposition.
I mean, you got that coaching squad as well for them. Xiaoxi and Luke, who definitely gives them ability, at least here for one, in retaliation to what Sersha has got on their back. And you talked about Natito as well. Let's see how this A side hit comes. You can see one, they pushed all the way up the flank. The turret will give them away though.
Yeah. Found out immediately. Sersha Esports sticking around towards main this time around. And with the confirmation that there was one on the flank, Sersha's actually going to go for commit towards the site.
Yeah, they have an alarm bot here as well, just to make sure. Plant should go unbothered. Eco, of course, coming in for one. They do have the solo rifle, and they got a lockdown, but I would wager that they use it here.
Yeah, Paranoia, though, being primed, and Sersha finds the first kill towards winner. It is a lesser buy, though, here for one. The hero rifle is gone, and the chances of one team fade away with it. Sersha, when they have the confidence, they will just take and claim what is theirs.
This should be the game tied all up. Flawless, without a hitch, without a problem. They tie up the game, and on the attacking side, 5 rounds is not too bad at all. We talked about that second half closeout on the defense, which would favor Sersha.
Yeah, Sersha, when they decide to actually swap on over the sides, you look for players like Exy, how he plays those angles. When Alert actually peeks out towards angles like Cubby, and it's one team instead who'll be put on basically the passenger seat, right? We've seen here for one team, though, they tried at the very least to try and play a few of those different angles, but now the macro kicks in, that Sersha has had such a better economic state all throughout this first half, and one team's playing twice.
It's going to be difficult for one. 2 more rounds in this half left, and they have to secure them at least to get the advantageous side. You see that lurk here coming from Alert, pulling all of the defense to focus on him while they flood into the A site.
Yeah, a rare 4-1 split here from Sersha. Now, with that attention taken away, the plant goes down almost immediately, and Rainy also as well, sleeping on the keyboard, unfortunately. LBY on the board as well, and Sersha finding the right timings versus one team. Yanli, though, steps up to the plate. Can he do it, though?
Oh,
for the Taiwanese hopefuls. Alert on the opposite end, sees the gun barrel, and sees the target. Sersha will take this lead.
Well, Alert gave them the presence there towards the short, and it certainly rang the alarm bells. For one, they thought, emergency! They're coming here towards short, and when you see Alert kind of there, you'd think that he's be leading the charge for the rest of the team, so they focused on short, but then they forgot the bigger picture. A main, the flood, the
saving flash for next half,
we talked about, Dax, is really what killed one here, and of course the timing as well, being perfect for Rolex. The follow-up here coming on in is great, and they played as a unit on that free push.
Yeah, it's not just mid-rounding, it's mid-gaming basically. Round per round, you can see Sersha evolving versus the opposition, and that's why we said, even in the panel, the longer we go in the series, the better it is gonna be for Sersha Esports. Timeout, though, for one team right now. I believe they've had some stellar showings. I love what we've seen from Jiawei. I love what we've seen from Xiaoyu as well. You can see his consistency at getting those kills.
TDM?
But beyond that, the struggles
You want
of the
TDM?
are actually apparent.
Surprising as well on how they're having those problems, right? The young guns here, the ones delivering so far. And we talked about how a lot of times on the defense, you'll see this one team kind of be unaware of what's happening on the opposing side, much more so than you'd want to expect for a team, especially at this level of caliber of play. And it does make it a nightmare of a matchup there for a team like Sersha. We talked about in the pre-panel how sometimes because they don't have that proper information where the hit is coming, they make these erroneous choices, and we see that exactly happen here. They thought it was a short push, but because they didn't have proactivity towards a main, they didn't.
It becomes a gamble when it should be one team. Can they recover back in this first half already?
Oh iya, Herman Miller itu. Iya ya. Tapi yang versi murah. Versi murah.
Iya. Hurts to see, but for Sersha, that's absolutely key. All of Jiawei now in a 1v5 situation. Very difficult odds here for one team.
It's going to be difficult.
What the fuck is that flash, Yanli?
There's only one way. It's going to be
CSGO.
It has to be. Just for them to try and equalize this half. 7-5 on the attacking side first half.
Close range tapi di left
Another
click.
flawless pulled out by Sersha here, who just go unparalleled and unbothered.
Yeah, no pan to protect him, no one to trade for him, and it's
Valo nggak bisa
Sersha
gitu nggak sih?
who
Maksudnya
will
kayak
take this
kurang bagus
lead
gak sih?
at the very
Yeah.
end of the first half,
Winner
7-5.
nih.
And you can see
Ini
the initial
kill dua
antics
nih,
of Sersha
satunya
Esports.
tadi
They want to
pas
play their own
lagi
playbook, they
anjing
want to try and
musuhnya.
play it slow, but slowly but surely they also realize that one team is effective at countering that out. One team, they had such a good opening, but when we saw Sersha pick up the pace, go for more advanced tactics like holding attention, checking out things like the lurks, and of course winning those thrifty rounds, those were keys to Sersha's success.
The keys are in their hands right now, and if you're one, this is where I'm worried about for them. It's their attacking side that does typically pose more problems there. Unfortunately, they didn't have, the best weaponry for that final round to really make that proactivity on a main workout. I mean, they had the right read and where it was going to come, just utility and just the firepower wasn't there.
Oh, what a fucking
Sersha
shot.
right now, who on this defense,
What are you
they're on
watching?
the strong side right now, and
Lagi dem.
if you're one, you're going to have to try and find those early picks as they like to do, because otherwise they really struggle
Wait, what the
sometimes to push, and you see them a lot of times end up having to last-minute 30-second execute because of just the lack of control they have.
Yeah, they have this little flowchart that goes on when they want to take a site. Try to bait out utility first and foremost. Find that initial pick to inspire confidence. But if they get none of that and Sersha implies their presence, one team will have to eventually go in there. And that's exactly what you're mentioning. That the fact that they try to play these kind of defaults that take their time, they try to be patient and look to suss out what their opponent is doing. I don't think it's going to work against a team like Sersha, who has been reveling in a style like that.
I like how you use the word flowchart, because that's exactly what it is. And you can see it. If you look at their rounds all the time, if they win the opening pistol, second round in, aggressive. Third round, super passive. They wait for that aggressive push on the attacking side.
Stop camping him.
Their bonuses are very readable, and I think this could be a problem if they don't change up their plan, especially against one of the more, I guess, intelligent teams we have here in SEA and in APAC and Pacific as a whole. In Xerxia, you talked about, the coaching staff. You talked about the leaders they have on this team, and those are things that I believe they do and will see.
Yeah, Thailand, we expect firepower from them, but this is a level of intellect that is kind of only mirrored by a team called Sersha Esports as well from back then, now Talon Esports, right? Yeah, it's the shades of the same color under the same org, but with different faces. And really, Sersha, you know that there's a big fan base for this organization right now. They were the ones who put Thailand on the map for the Valorant scene as well, and right now they're trying to do so again. I do wonder though how they're gonna approach this defense, because from what I've seen so far, they are very strong especially when they're in a 5v5 scenario. But if they're picked apart one by one, trying to play anchor stubbornly, that's where their defense falls apart.
What I do see for one, though, at the very least, and the counterpoint to that is their post.
Talon,
they do struggle sometimes to get themselves within the site into a good position. But when they do get into a good position on those post plants, that is where one makes their money. And if you're Sersha, you're going to have to try and deny those plants, because the retakes here, I think, are going to be one of the most difficult things.
What the fuck, Ranen?
Just try and burn as much time, try and burn as much utility early on, so that if one gets into a post-plant situation, they won't have the ample amount of utility that they like to play off in that spot.
Yo, we have a little bit of time as we're getting for the second half. I just want to ask
ya kalau di rank si Surf nggak mental ketemu aku.
This is such a hype setup.
Pernah dipisah anjir. Di split masih inget tuh.
I think it's one of your first times, right, flying over Dex to cast something.
To cast something, yeah. This is the first time I went abroad.
Amazing. How's it feeling?
Banget jersey mereka kayak
it feels the same, but also different.
Yeah.
We work with incredible talents as well, incredible production, and
yeah.
incredible crowd. I think that's a big difference right now.
I'm happy to see a lot of the people that we've met online, worked with in the past online, but then now they're right here, and it's like, oh, you exist in the flesh.
You're a real person?
You're a real person?
Wow, I thought you were just a computer screen.
I thought you were AI.
Yeah, well, we gotta look at the screens very, very soon. And I do wonder right now, what else is left here for one team? Have they evolved enough, though, between the time of the Grand Finals, here for Ascension, to actually change things up on the fly as well, to find more of that aggression? And it really starts and ends with Xiao Yu as well as Xiao Wei. Those two have to be the absolute pinnacle of the spearhead, basically. Once they get that intel, once they get that entry, they just need to be a bit more confident in how they make those plays, instead of just hanging back, kind of reeling back their approach and slowing things down.
I mean, you talked about Xiao Wei, and I think he's a really big player, not just in terms of status. We know there's a lot of fanfare around this man. He really brings a lot of supporters, and I bet half of the people in that crowd are a big fan of him. But also, just you can see how he brings energy to this team. You can see how he's not only presence in the game, but there's something about him, like probably outside, maybe in the locker room kind of things, that gives his team just that bit much more. And certainly, if you ask any player, what the most difficult thing about competing is, it has to be the mental state.
Kemarin ditanyain nih.
Who's always keeping that positive vibe. I think that really gives Sersha big hopes here.
Mau ganti apa emang?
Used to being on the camera, that's for sure. Being on a stage. You want one of those players to just keep you very positive along the way. He had a little bit of a foray into the pro scene back in 2021 for CBT, or it was actually KPC.
KPC, yes.
And he just came back with this one-team roster. Also brought in these young guns, Xiao Yu as well as Yan Li eventually. So really, it's one team right now still finding their foundation, their footing in the pro scene itself.
Well, let's see how they find their attacking side to be. Aggressive push here from Xerxia. I think they realize this push is coming, so they want to invade the Hound, they want to invade the mob.
Look at Xerxia go though. They play aggressively towards
datang ke Killjoy.
now they're going
kena Molly deh.
ring around. The wrap around here versus one team.
Pasti ada yang kena mati nih sama Molly nih, pasti.
Actually going towards the wrap.
Oh, anjir.
Alert. A one-man army trying to dissuade this push. But then again, Xiaowei so low already. One team trying to find their footing. Alert through the smoke, gets that takedown. The plant goes down, sure. But one team, they're stuck here.
Yeah, look at the HP though here in one. They've absolutely peppered them, seasoned them for this fight. Alert on the peak, they're keeping the swing on going to get the opening pick.
Yeah, Sersha's getting in there and they're just cleaning up. Now they go for the clear corner. Now they go down to hell and will drag down one team to the abyss there. Sersha set up a snare and they will just catch that bait.
An absolute swarm here. They tried to Zerg out there, that B main. They get all the control and gives them information. Okay, B is clear. It has to be A. And on one's retreat as well, they were taking so much damage on their entry here towards the site. Those nano swarms melting a player like Xiaowei down, and it's going to be difficult now that one don't take their opening the opening pistol in the second half.
And we see the nature of one team immediately, the passive nature, making them want to play towards the site itself, anchoring on down instead of trying to go for that map control. If Sersha has realized that already, they can take advantage, they can keep going for those kind of pushes, especially to immediately get intel of what's going on.
Yeah, it seems like here for one, sometimes their priority is safety over control, and that's what we're talking about being a stylistical matchup problem for them, especially against a team like Sersha here, who love to be a bit more proactive. You can see them now, though, making sure they don't overstep, exercising that discipline, knowing the attacking side you'd pour out anytime.
Yeah, they do know a flood is coming, and its name is One Team Esports. Instead, Sirafop, he wants to go for a few of those wall banks with that Guardian if ever. Maybe find a shot or two with the shock darts. Sersha here, they do trust Rolex and Sirafop to try and hold things down. And we've seen this from Sersha actually. A standard 2-3 split. Happy to be a bit stubborn in how they hold. And here they go, doubling up towards Speedway, but Rolex left alone as Sirafop wanted to check out the staircase instead. Immediately though, shot towards Yanli, another one towards Rainy. Sergeant Gaming at its finest! Efficiency with the tap, sure.
Yeah, he was actually caught off guard there, not realizing they were at the gates and they were pouring into the site. By the time he threw out his recon, but yet he still holds the line. Make sure he does it in such ample fashion. 3 kills for him. Guardian in the hands is Xiao Yu, but it'll be difficult here. They know where he is and flush him out of the boathouse. Sersha convert.
Yeah, yet again, trapped in the pit, one team cannot claw out of it. It was a good push though towards that B site. You can see for Sersha, if they do lose a bit of that synchronization, that's where their defense falls apart. And if one team can capitalize on that, if we see Xiao Yu or Xiao Wei actually make that kind of space for them, then that's a chance for them to get these sites going.
Well, it's going to have to be something different. We're going to have to see one team finally get the groove going. Don't let him hanging, brother. You gotta keep the energy up, but yeah, one team now on their buy run. Look at this, Xiaowei doesn't buy armor? Did he forget?
Yeah.
He has credits.
He has money for it.
He has money.
You don't need money. You don't need armor. You got this. Just tap in the head. All good.
Halo, Xiaowei. Offset banget nih.
At some point still.
That's
Gak beli armor. Gak beli armor.
But this is even more problematic knowing that they're going up against bonus. So those SMGs are going to be even more painful.
Yeah, not only that, the Guardian, the Judge too, but Rainy. An incredible angle just to catch
Jawe,
Sersha off
Jawe.
guard. And as alert goes down,
Musuhnya lagi
LBY
bonus
will
lagi,
retreat
anjing.
now into the
Kagak beli
clutches of
armor.
XE instead. So Sersha here, that was their foray to play aggressive. Now they're going to go for that 2-2 split, play pairs, and try to hold these sites.
I like that they
Anjir, Winter
tried to be
masih
proactive
gusto.
early in the round,
Setelah nggak beli
see where
armor,
potentially
ih,
this one squad is. And
bandel baru
you can see
cover
on
dap.
the bonus, we talked
Sebenarnya
about
sih
this
cock
decks,
banget sih,
they
in
love
my
to wait
opinion.
for those aggressive pushes. And so Sersha should have
Beli nggak,
known
Bi?
this in the
Bandel baru
first
cover.
place. It's part of their flow
Beli
chart we
dong.
see in almost
Sumpah.
every matchup they have. So
Yeah.
Ya,
in this
kalau
case, at
kalian
least
mah
works
pasti
out for
beli
one
aja.
team. But the B side hit, 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Isn't this what we talked about?
They're always making sure that they can catch the
Akan
aggression
body,
off guard.
dapat kapan?
And
Akan
now,
body itu apa
part
ya?
of the flowchart yet
Akan
again.
body.
Step
Oh.
3, execute with 30 seconds left. Rolex though, holding down the judge. Jawe will clear things out. An incredible flash there to help
Nice
out,
push, bro.
courtesy of Yanli. We've seen those flashes really make opportunities for one team so far. Winner though suppressed,
Sumpah.
spotted out now by
Gua
LBY.
nggak tahu kenapa
He
ya, gua
knows
liat
he's
winnernya
close,
lucu,
and
anjing.
we'll spot him there towards the market doorway. Rainy on the board though, and one team taking the fight to Sersha.
Anjing,
Now,
sorry dah gue ketawa
4v2
kayak kurang ajar
situation.
enggak.
One team still
Kayak
sticking
apa?
around on
Kenapa?
the objective itself.
Ini
XE,
si
LBY
Winner
trying to
wife.
find those opportunities. Flash is thrown, but XE can't find the space
Winner
whatsoever.
kayak
Smoke is
sering
there.
lihat deh
He
bisa.
still has the paranoia. Does he decide to use it though? Lets it rip. LBY burning down Jawe, but it's Xiao Yu already kicking
Swai
open
Yu.
this door more so, and Rainy will be
Swai
there to
Yu.
help him out. One
Swai
team,
Yu.
nicely done.
What?
At least they're able to do it without taking
that
too
how
much
you
damage.
pronounce that?
Minimal
That's
loss
kinda
there, only 2.
weird.
And that's the maximum you'd want against a bonus like that. So for Sersha, in this case, look at this. Alert. Operator out early. We got the Odin and Siripop. I believe we are playing into patch where we
Less
got a
cannon.
bit less bullets into each Vandal. So these Odins, this is what we were kind of expecting, especially for a map like Ascent, that you would have these LMGs be brought out more, specifically because of the amount of spamming you can do a lot of times in wallbangs.
Yeah, you can't just spam smoke zone willy-nilly anymore. You can't
Maybe.
cover these crosses. Instead,
Bye.
Sersha
Fighting.
will take a different approach to this. I do like this operator from Alert. We've seen from one team that if it's not Rainy setting up those smokes, it's really just some open crosses, really, for their movement. And here I have it. Still Alert, waiting for the opportunity to
Someone's
strike.
off to practice.
They rotate off towards the A side. I think that's where they're feeling this hit is going to come. And he might just be right for a second there, but no one. I think finally they just suddenly divert into potentially a B side split here. Alarmbot should give them early information where the hit is going to come, but let's see if Sersha reacts in
Harusnya
time.
aku pakai ini besok ya.
Patience there until the alarm bot breaks that silence. One team now executing towards B instead after just outweighting Alert's position there in middle. This really relies now on Rolex as well as Siripop. They're trying to hold towards both while Siripop will get one. The Odin letting those bullets rip, but it's not enough to hold things down. 3v3 for now.
Huge coming in here for Siripop. Oh, the TP rotate? No, just to pick up the spike. It was a bit out of reach, and they gained the plant. The problem here, the retake from Alert with an operator, not the most optimal option sometimes.
Yeah, dangerous territory. Had to use the ultimate just to get it safely. Jawe going for that kind of call. Alert though misses the mark, and it's Winner instead who steps up to the plate. XE though on the board too to make the trade happen. And we've seen the scenario from Sersha before, but now the numbers are quite equalized. Paranoia this time, looking to get the connection towards Rainy. A stellar flash as well. LBY will get that takedown. Rainy versus XE, who can outclutch the other Omen? It's Rainy who will just bear down on that parade. A clutch comes for one team.
What did we talk about, Dax? The one big problem here that's going to be for Sersha on this half is the post-plant holds for one. We see that come on in here. And in that case, the one time as well, the few moments that you would like to have an operator on the retake is when you're holding down the line like that, anticipating an aggressive peak. And he was right on the money on where the swing would come from Winner and still could not hit the shot. So Winner, he's been having himself a cold game so far, but that was a huge pick that they needed.
Yeah, and Sersha, a bit antsy right now and how they're dealing with one team.
Oh,
We've seen how patient one team has been so far. We've seen how much noise they've been trying to cut as much as possible and really keep that intel on their side. This has hurt Sersha's economy. They're going to be going for the pistols instead.
Sheriff all abound. Who knows? They might just have the fastest, the quickest draw in the West. In this case,
I mean, we've seen some thrifties before, right?
Incredible stuff, yeah, in the first half, but defense different question
ini
for
punggung
sure.
berat iya Cok.
It's one now
Ini
who are
sama
really building up their
Shu.
economy
Doang
early in terms
lumayan.
of their ultimates. Almost everybody has got theirs coming in with the next round.
One team looking pretty
Oh,
set
kayak
for the long run
on
here.
Dimon.
The minute to go though.
Gimana
Still
ya?
that mid contest.
Wouldn't say
That
they're
mid take
bad,
that they want.
but
Give them avenues towards the cubby especially.
so far they don't
Find
look
that closer
too good,
contact if
yeah,
ever. Smoke is there though. Yaldron also to scout. Sersha
Wait, so
have
this
decided to
is-
put a foothold towards the A site instead. And Xiao Yu, he'll be the first one in there. The flash connects towards
Exactly.
Rolex, who swings
Whoa.
wildly. Rolex though with an incredible
What?
takedown. Rolex with another one. Time
What?
stops whenever he hits his shots. But Xiao Wei will at least make the trade happen. Hunter's Fury is there though. And Winner finds the right timing and the right opening to get that takedown. Now behind enemy lines, looking to surprise LBY, but LBY
Sinabit siya.
eyes at the back of his head.
Kenapa nggak nyantai banget
2v3
dia?
though.
Si
One
Winner?
team struggling here against the positioning of Sersha. Xiao Wei
bit.
sees XC coming. Rainy holding close. But alert! Both sides held and found. What a twist of fate for Sersha.
My goodness, here, Alert, keeping them spinning 180, gets the pick on the Xiaowei, turns around, finds the follow-up in a great fashion as well. Sersha, a lot there as well. What we saw from Rolex, he knew the hit was coming. He plays off the dice, goes around the smoke, goes into an off angle. Nobody be expecting him to play in this position, and he gets two with the Sheriff. Great stuff done by the defense here in Sersha.
I can't believe we called the thrifty happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sersha's just so good at that. Dismantling positions bit by bit. Finding those right timings and just stellar holds. There's so much trust with one another. And Rolex has just been one of those players who stays in the shadows, plays and lies in wait, and then strikes when it's the right timing.
Was keeping the roll in for Rolex, for sure. You gotta roll those R's because this man is on a tear. The Xiao Yu from high up above gets the one punished though by LBY, keeps him in
So
check.
itu kok nggak salah kayaknya
Sersha's
dia
contesting
gitu
this
ya.
early
Dia udah
on.
balik malah.
LBY with the call and
Roman
with the
tadinya
kills.
dari awal.
Rainy gets close to get that takedown. Seems like Alert
Kayaknya nggak
didn't see
jago-jago
him
banget.
coming, but Sirapov does find Winner. It's 3v1 now, and
Harusnya ya.
one team yet again struggling to find the opening.
Dan
This is their
keinjek ya
best
sih
map
Sersha
in
yang
their
lolos
pool, my friend, but
bukan
Sersha is the one looking better.
It's
Made
difficult
in
here for
Thailand
one.
ya
They
kan?
still
Made
do
in
have
Thailand yang lagi jago
the
kan.
option of making it happen on Haven, to be fair.
Ini Sersha yang
But we talked about map number one being crucial
Almost
in
good.
any underdog situation. When you're down under, every punch you throw is going to be an uppercut, and you might just hit the chin, but they're missing the mark here so far.
You can't say that. Our co-host isn't here. Our co-talents aren't here. Bunkers isn't here yet.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Down under?
You said down
Oh,
under.
sorry, I took it from.
Good old Mac over there.
Yeah.
Fix
No,
itu pacar
that'll be the
siapa
one
tuh?
and last. I'm sorry, brother.
He's gonna judge you
Pacar
for
pemain tuh
your
What is that?
My
accent, right?
my lack of me.
Lack of Filipino-ness.
Yeah, in the blood.
But anyway, enough of that. Sersha,
Ultimate stacks. Look.
with a 4-round gap, you mentioned it. Ultimates
Sersha
are
nggak
at the ready.
jago-jago
Both sides have
banget
lockdowns. Both sides have
katanya.
null
Cuman
commands as well. And that can
One-nya kayak
really set the tone
kuring.
of any side take here on a set.
Wah ini kayak
The
yang
question is, how does the
ngecok,
shuffle
bukan
happen?
ngecok
Who
sih,
pops
kayak
what
banyak
first, right?
banyak
Does
long
Sersha
stick
initiate with the
gitu.
lockdown and then come
Fix
with their
MPH.
own null
Kalau
command
ngecoknya
on the
nggak sih?
retake, or does one
Kalau
start it
nggak
off
lupa
early
deh
here
kayaknya.
under execute? But this is akin to what we see from one. They wait around for their opening minute
Jadi
to see
berangkat.
any
Jadi
aggression
nggak
from the
ya?
defense, and then come into the last minute with trying to make some sort of space.
Well, if they have a bit more confidence here for one team, they're going to go for a faster execute. They did take their time, though, to rotate towards Cubby. And here we have the null command into play as well. Staves off Rolex for now, shutting down all signs of at least oppression. But one team will make their way towards the side. Xiaowei also finding Alert along the way. Stellar Alert there from one team. They found that initial kill. Now they have to deal with the lockdown.
Yeah, it's a huge pick here, and the fact that they throw this out makes it even more difficult to get the Hunter's Fury to dismantle that lockdown. But LBY is going absolutely huge here on the defense.
He decided to go for the fight already, and Sersha's here, ready to play. 3v2, tucked away into the corner. Rainy waiting for Rolex, and he'll find him with his back turn. Sirapopto gets halfway. LBY with the 3K. And he's just trying to protect his team right in front. And right in our eyes, LBY with a 4K there to put Sersha on match point.
Great stuff done here by Sersha.
Yeah.
And the lockdown, you would have thought that being destroyed would have been a big one up here for Team 1, for one team rather. And yet, Sersha able to bypass that, not worrying about that lockdown there. If anything, they used it to burn the Hunter's Fury so that it can't be used to deny the defuse after. They focused on the macro game, on the retake instead, and didn't worry about whatever else was happening.
Yeah, Sersha has been looking at the big picture all throughout this game, from economy in the first half to positioning, and especially stifling any kind of post-match scenario. It has just been impeccable for them. Great to see, though, LBY himself popping off. This man has been in many different regions. Thailand in 2021, Japan 2022. Then they came back here for Sersha in 2023 as well. He's been so stellar in shot calls. And right now, I think the mid-rounding really is defined by him.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. They're playing as a unit. They all have a coordinated idea that they all execute on together. And that really gives them, I think, the benefit of the doubt here against a team like One. So once more, the same flow chart. Wait for the aggression for the opening half of the round, and then they come into the second half when the mid's left to try and actually get them some space to work with.
Oh, the tag is there, but the Towel drone spots out the operator. Beautiful paranoia as well. Gives a chance to one team to get that space that they need. Lockdown also is the play. Xiaoyu trying to lead that charge. Alert though, now here, holding towards Botas. Does he even have an angle to begin with? Whips out the blades, doesn't have the dash at all. Can he get out in time?
Wow.
Seems like he will.
Right on time here. It actually has a bit of a sideline and a bit of an idea on where One are playing on this post plan. I don't think they're aware of where Winner is, though, and this could be a crucial position. Oh, this is a great off angle.
Timing now as the spike's planted. Winner though over onto the corner.
They're not looking good.
Anyone's guessing LBY knows he's there. Apparently Rolex does, but Winner still wins the fight anyway. Paranoia now into play. Sersha will clear out the closer angles, but they're lacking the utility to go for the retake itself. It's 1v3, all up to LBY. Rainy's waiting over into the smoke, but LBY finds Yanli. There's the push, and there's the takedown. One team survived to go for another round.
You can see LBY expected that push as well coming from Rainy, but the real winner of that round has to be Winner, I think, there. The fact that he was alive and so prevalent there towards Market, we were kind of wondering if he's going to wait it out or if he's going to kind of peek early. He peeks early into that Market position, takes down the opposing Killjoy and Rolex, and because of the fact that he was still there, it led Sersha to have to worry about his position on the retake, and as they were trying to take him down, the rest of Sersha's post plant, rather the rest of one team's post plant was able to kind of pincer Sersha on their back.
Yeah, Sersha had to commit a lot more than they wanted to begin with, and from that point on, it was easier timings and easier pickings from one team. And speaking of Winner, he has the operator, and Winner, chicken dinner. That's the first takedown here for the round.
Well, that's certainly a meal and a half for him to take. Big bite, taken out of Sersha and taking down LBY. And that KO we know they use a lot to try and gain that early advantage here potentially on where the information is. And this is where One love to do. They wait for that opening 30 seconds as we talked about. And flush out the aggression, but Alert, he's got the operator of his own.
The operator will try to find another one. Sersha have put their stability to the test. One team though now going for the push themselves and have the numbers advantage. XC and Rolex have such a journey to get to this B side. Spike's planted now and one team waiting for the cross.
Let's not forget, if they lose this round here, Sersha, they're going to be put into a veto, so One might just be on a streak here and potentially make this a much closer game. 3v2 so far. I don't think they're aware of Rainy. The smoke's going to make it even more difficult. Push out and Rainy punishes.
Here we go again. The close encounters of the Rainy kind. One team has used this partition outside the site to full effect. And Sersha, yet again, caught unaware.
And this round was all about that veteran duo we talked about from one team, Winner and Rainy, gaining them the rounds that they need near the end of it. But Rainy has been having himself an absolutely incredible game as that controller to keep him on the square, specifically to make sure that the opposing side isn't going to wreak havoc on that mid line and on that back line. And there you see it. He keeps him in check. Make sure that Alert doesn't simply get a free peek off the op.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think what were the journeys of Rainy and Winner to get to this point. Playing Initiator duo back in Griffin. They had, of course, that controller outing as well. There used to be a time where even Winner played a bit of that duelist. And just the evolution of these veterans really, keeping one team a step ahead of the competition. They're still fighting, they're still here. And as of right now, they're still relying on the operator of winner to find that initial pick.
Well, Thrifty State here, Eco State for Xerxia. Not that we haven't seen them converted like 3 times already. Yep. And who knows, we might just we happen to see sometimes, you know, these kind of last round wins come off of Thrifties anyway. So maybe, and they're stacking the right side in this case because one, they're coming their way.
Bang Tarik kemana Kak? Beli 10 kah?
One push again.
Bang Tarik kayak kagak nonton dah. Kalau Ascension gini dah.
They're waiting now for the
nggak mungkin dia nonton, Cok, sumpah.
Look at Alert actually. He's waiting for a dart too. And Xerxia knows now that one team is nearby. This is effectively a commit, Black and Blue.
Yeah, I mean, they're expecting the aggression here. You can see them pinging that smoke just to make sure that no one from Xerxia is waiting inside of it. I think they're going to execute now, and here comes the stack.
Yeah, 4 stacked up here for Xerxia. Can they hold with the lesser guns? One team, though, finds first blood. Alert falls, same as Sirapop, and well, the scoreboard lit up by one team already. They clear out the angles. They find, of course, the advantage with the guns, and from that point on, this round is effectively theirs.
Yeah, simply overrun the defense here.
Oh,
there should be a 10 to 12. Only Rainy going down, and yeah, Xiao Yu with his 3rd on the round. One adequately here, dealing with the stack on the A side and making sure they don't get the angles that the fights had wanted.
And one team has all the money in the world to keep competing against Xerxia by this point. It was a good raid for Xerxia though. They stacked appropriately. They realized that, oh, this is going to be a commit. No need to worry about that.
From how one is playing sih harusnya nggak comeback
harusnya. The clear towards generator was key. Threw so much attention away from that peek towards Raptors, and the rest was history.
Ichiran bukan ya?
Well, finally, weapons out here for Xerxia once more. No operator on their side. It's on the attack. On the winner, who's been really playing that catch and protect for them, making sure that he's the net off the flanks or off of aggressive peaks here from Xerxia. And Xerxia knowing that the operator is online for one on their attacking side. I wonder how this will affect Xerxia to be proactive early in the round.
Yeah, I do wonder also, will they decide to go for an expedition yet again between LBY and Alert? They've been having such a hot game. But we haven't really seen them truly succeed in going for that initial pick early on because one team is just ready for those kind of plays.
I mean, they seem to have found the one way to make this work, and it's been at least getting those punishes when it comes to the execute itself. The early round sometimes does make you wonder if Xerxia are playing into their hand, but it's really when you get to the execute itself and the post-plant where you can see the true strength of this one team, and it's been catching Xerxia off guard, I think.
Yeah, they've been so competitive so far. For a team without that regional experience in a tournament setting, is already such a good sign of what's to come from our Taiwanese hopefuls. But can they actually get the victory on their map pick? This has just been one of their most
bingung nih orang kenapa movementnya kayak kebingungan anjing
dari tadi. And as we said a while ago when we were talking with the map draft with map,
kayak nggak ikutan Discord dia, Cok.
It's a good sign for one team to get at least one of these 2 maps to try and get ahead of Xerxia.
Well, let's see which one they're going to get here. Maybe one. Yep, they need 2 rounds to close this out. Of course, match point here already for Xerxia, but it's overtime that they're trying to force for one attacking side of theirs this time around. Still waiting for those pushes that they expect from Xerxia.
Yeah, one team here looking again for a pick, courtesy of winner.
Well,
slow play.
Yeah,
all
it's not coming.
It's just what it is, man. You want me to talk about this? They're walking.
Yeah.
They're moving.
I mean, that's what they are, for sure. And you can see here that Xerxia, they love to place their utility on that Killjoy. A bit more for denying the plant instead of stalling the push instead. And I wonder if that is going to be something they're going to change up in the next round if it doesn't close out this way.
Yeah, 40 seconds left though. One team will commit yet again towards the site. Sorito gets the spot. There's the paranoia. Perfect as well. It leads now to the Hunter's Fury from Sirapop. All the way from afar. Trying to find these targets here. Rolex though cleared out by Xiao Yu. A chance here for one team to get the plant going. Winner also with a stellar find. That's 2 down for Xerxia.
What did I say? He's that safety net there that makes sure that there aren't holes for the defense to punish. Alert. Good on the swing. He gets Xiaowei down and they're trying to flush out. Winner when he gets another.
Bells were ringing,
Are
but
you
winner will
playing
silence them yet again. One team on site and at the ready. LBY though finding Xiao Yu.
Kayak lagi ini dah nervous main
Yanli puts up a stellar fight.
main di
It's all up to
LAN.
LBY now. Nice tap onto Rainy. Can he do it for Sersha? No. Denied by one team, and we are one away from going into overtime.
Final round of regulation coming on in. And one team are looking in their best form so far in this map. The way that you'd want to expect, and doing it on the attacking side is not easy, Dax. Now, Sersha, you can see that they've kind of been dissuaded from being proactive early because they know that operator, and that's what I was talking about. How will it affect them? It seems to have gotten really great results. I still wonder if placing that utility so far back and not playing off of it in the same way, instead of placing it forward, is the best option.
Have they been conditioned enough by one team to always play back? And now one team is taking advantage of that space. Here we go, though. Sersha has had enough. Rainy, wherefore art thou, Rainy? Alert wants to go for the fight, but one team will still fight by spawn anyway. In the end, it's one team with the advantage. 2-for-1 trade all the way across the map.
But this is what one team's strengths are. They love to try and take these fights when they know the defense is pushing and overstepping, gaining out of bounds, and they expect these type of plays, but will they expect XZE here? Great angle, he doesn't connect!
Oh, heartbreaker again. Sersha, they knew that was their chance to equalize these odds, and instead now, all eyes point to Rolex.
He had a bullet with his
Mari
name
kita
on
lihat
it.
Rolex di sini dengan
Not find
jut-nya.
the shot. Not all hope is lost just yet for Xerxia here. You have to look at Rolex and what he can do with his judge on the backside.
He has the judge. He has the shot. He's waiting for someone to come his way. And one team, you know, by this time, this is the commit. Null command is the call, though. One team still waiting for the right opportunity. They want to go for the lockdown as well. They're playing this as secure as possible.
This just dismantles here the idea that Rolex wanted to have.
Such a
He's
good
trying to
call.
go on the cross, but winner's there on the cat. 15
kah?
seconds left. They have to get within the site.
Might as well throw everything but the kitchen sink. It's the last round of regulation anyway, and one team realized that at the right time. Rolex is gone. One team with a two-man advantage, and the operator struggles still for Sersha to retake, even for where as Sirapop and his rifle falls. It's XZ who will be found, and one team have tied it up.
Overtime in the first game of the very first inaugural Ascension for Pacific here.
OT it is.
OT it is. Let's not forget that, you know, players like
LBY
Rainy and
sama
Winner, when they were in
Alex
CBT, they
udah
gave us one of the biggest, most all-time classicos of overtimes. 5 overtimes on that bind map. One of the first SEA Challenger playoffs we had versus then Brand, now Team Secret. So that was a classic.
I'm gonna give you a handshake for remembering that.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna call you a boomer for actually remembering that.
Hey man, we were there.
We were there, that's true. But one team is here to play. Sersha trying to defend home territory against everyone else who have made that journey towards Thailand. But that second round, that 5-round streak really proved that one team has conditioned Sersha to play in a manner that one team can exploit.
Well, there's 2 teams playing right now.
Really? You're so funny.
Yeah, well, there's no laughing matter here for Sersha. They've given up a big lead here as one. They've gotten their streak, and now we're in overtime.
Yeah, Cloud versus there. Alert looking for contact early on. Sersha, do they pick up the pace to try and surprise one team?
Orang-orang pasti pada beli anjing.
Especially, so a flash into the peak. A possibility here for one team esports. The rest of Sersha now mobilizing to try and go for that B-split approach.
Yeah, they're waiting here for aggression on either side, but neither team is going to budge. It might seem like one here pulls back instead. They know they don't want this fight. Gather information, though, with this knife, and that should alert them.
Yeah, Aldron's there. One team will cede control. Never mind, Jiawei still fighting, but Alert will catch him in the act. 4v4 for now. Spike has been dropped temporarily, and one team tried to go for the engage instead. Rolex though shutting that down, not just once, but twice. Here comes Sirapop as well, and B is clean by Sersha.
Sersha at least able to finally get their groove back in this round specifically. Rolex
Ini
there
Kemi tuh kenapa nih?
making sure Rainy doesn't
Ini bukan winner ya? Winner mana mukanya?
Doesn't keep
Kenapa
it
winner lagi jalan tapi ngusuk-ngusuk tangan?
up into 3v1. It's all on the winner to take this.
Can he find it? Alert is so low already. He's effectively the initial contact just to bait out the opposition. And there you go. Winner has to take the L. Sersha will be back on match point.
Yeah, great dual angle hold there. As soon as he peeks out, it's effectively a high-low position. And so, two players to deal with, can only get one. And Sersha, they take the opening round of overtime. We've questioned, you know, how one really deal with adversity, retaliating and coming back into games and rounds and halves. And they've shown us a great showing in that second half, but overtime's a different story.
So first game already this close.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ascension really is such a treat to watch already from the get-go. With one team now, they need to fight back yet again. They do have at least more of a default approach this time, trying to put presence towards these main angles, maybe a rotation in order for them later on.
One of the first few times we've seen that specific smoke here from Sersha in this map. And that shakes up one. Now we're wondering, what does that infer? What conditioning here is being set by Sersha? Why do they smoke that off? Have they taken that wine position away? Are we going to go for this A split, they think? And seems like the answer is yes.
They're implying aggression, and that's why you can see a Rainy hanging back for now. Here we go, though, and Xiaoyu is desynced with the rest of the roster. XD will play the game separation to the end Rolex to at the same case. And Xiaowei is the only one still standing. 1v4. He's trying to do it all here for one team. But he's only one man, one player.
Hari-hari di PHP ya guys ya,
comebacknya ya. Our first series goes to Thailand.
Jadi di kota-kota besar.
In overtime as well.
Or first map, dude.
First map.
First map.
First map. Don't get ahead of yourself. They almost did there. The comeback from one team was incredible. And you see, I was talking about that smoke being a big thing, even though it meant little, maybe to the eyes of few. But if you look at it in terms of what it affected in that round, they smoked that off one of the first times they do it. And because of that, one team thought that there was an aggressive push potentially towards A main. They thought maybe there was a double stack in A main. And so they went around and continued on short because they wanted to go around the defense. But they didn't expect to be waiting for them right on the money. And they get the punish off of it.
I just feel the intensity already. It is insane.
Ini kenapa?
Awkward banget ini. Game. One team has shown that they are here to play versus 8-pack, but Sersha, the adjustments, especially in the mid rounds, in the mid game, courtesy of the likes of LBY, it's just been impeccable that they found the right openings, they found the right answers towards one team, and in the end, they were able to out-psycho the opposition.
Well, it's a great opening map here win for Sersha, but we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll see you guys in a bit.
Teori menunda kemenangan. PHP musuh anjing. Gue tuh kalau fake comeback kayak gitu ya, gue kalau misalnya gue sendiri lagi main di ranked terus fake comeback, wah gue boleh mau nangis anjing. Kayak udah kenapa ngakal lagi sih kayak tadi. Ya kenapa gue kayak nge-PHP diri sendiri. Bikin anginnya lebih kencang lagi. Iya sih. Kalau ARL juga gitu ya. Keren. Paranoid. Tadi aku nggak boleh download. Pengen main sih. Ngantuk tapi dah tiba-tiba what the fuck. Aduh, kayak pengen nonton Bonkers. Naos Fancy kayak gue gak nonton dah. Naos tuh tim Pinoy, Fancy tim itu apa cok? China? Vietnam? Oh iya ya, Pinoy Vietnam. Yang main di Thailand itu ya, iya. Wah, jelek banget walk-innya. Halo, kayak pucek. Kalau nggak bisa kalau nggak bisa walk-in dari belakang ya nggak apa-apa anjir, walk-in dari depan aja cok. Kayak pas final Boom Dominatus. Kenapa dipaksain walk-in di depan layar gitu cok, kayak aneh banget. Ya nggak sih, lihat di sekalian tadi. Buat So kalau Sersia mah ada nggak sih? Wah, nggak. Teker mungkin
search, but we're going to go to
ini ya. Setelah highlight sebelum. Sebelum ya. Ih, tadi ada walking yang mana sih?
One team, they wanted to go around the defense, but they didn't expect there to be waiting for them right on the money, and they get the punish off of it.
I just feel the intensity already. It is insane
Aneh
that
banget.
we kick things off with an overtime
Kamu
game.
teleport.
One team.
Kalian teleport dari mana anjing? On the up. Challenge apa anjir? Wah.
What a thriller to kick off Ascension Pacific 2023. Zerja, look, they might have dropped the ball in the second half, but you need to give it to one team. Thriving under the pressure, doing everything against all odds. They were on death's door, but they managed to make it happen, and in spectacular fashion. Unfortunately, after taking it to OT, things didn't go their way.
I mean, it could have, right? At how close they were able to make it, and we were wondering how do they play against pressure and adversity, and I think that's a check mark. Even though they weren't able to close it out, they still did pretty well.
Yeah, they were so competitive all throughout. We saw in the second half especially that they
were
setting that pace. They were pulling, reeling Search all the way to the deepest abysses of their spawn even. And the fact that they would deny that kind of outlook from Search and limit their playstyle was what one team took advantage in the later rounds.
And for me as well, look, first half looked almost tragic for one team. Great start, you know, coming out, winning the bonus round as well, 3-0. Looking spectacular. Then it was 7 rounds at the end of it for Zerja, and moving into that second half, I didn't think it was going to go their way. Look, Zerja winning a couple of ecos, just destroying one team's economy over and over. But then as soon as Zerja hit 12, one team just hit the accelerator, brought us back into the game. And I need to point out as well, so Rolex had a very, very quiet regulation, but he turned up when it mattered in OT to close us out. And that's exactly why I think, look, Rolex, yes, needs to certainly pick up moving into that second game, but you need to shout out LBY, you need to shout out Alert. The amount that they did this game, this first map of the series, was spectacular.
Yeah. It was just honestly impressive though to see that you have that more consistency from Alert as well. We've always talked about him being on that duelist role. He's there to make that space, but netting those kills, especially when the backline was having those struggles, it gave Sersha those chances even when one team was defining the pace of the game.
I mean, we still have to talk about some of the great performances we saw on one team if they weren't able to close out the game, and that being Rainy. You see him on that MVP.
Sure.
Look at that round where they had the one hero rifle on him and he was able to get the 3.
But
give them, a bit of retaliation, give them that backline that they really needed to the most, and keeping Alert in check on some of those operator rounds.
And we had some fangs also from one team. You had Xiao Yu, you had Xiao Wei, who were just always there willing to play those fights. You have multi-kills there towards that B site from Xiao Wei. He would just hold those angles and get those takedowns, and we were looking for an openings there from one team. Xiao Yu was able to deliver, so all in all, this was an impressive outlook for one team esports. It's just sad to say that they fell flat at the very end once it became overtime.
Yeah, and you look in here as well, Zerja were able to get into post-plant so many times, but their conversion rate after getting that spike planted was nowhere near as good as one team. One team able to win 7 out of 9 once they were able to get the spike down. Issue was their attacking side was more about, finding those openings and almost winning before they needed to plant.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were talking about right coming into this match and series in person, especially in the second half, where it's going to be the post plant, I think, that's really going to kill Searcha here if they allow one to get in that position, because they're one of the best teams here in terms of statistically of converting those post plants into wins, and we saw that here on map number 1, as we talked about here. It has to be the defense setting a tone early for Searcha. Otherwise, if you let them in, that might be like letting the vampire into your home.
It's such a struggle, right? And one team, we've seen from them, though, that their flow chart is very set. Searcha haven't found the right tools to try and dismantle that as of yet, until we saw saw there in that overtime. We were talking about it in that last round especially, just a single smoke to try and dissuade them. There were also times where we saw from Sersha that they were pulling attention away from one team. And I feel like if they kind of look back at the tape real quick while we're in between these games, they see those moments, they can try and exploit that more so into the second map.
The other thing I noticed as well, it took Sersha a very long time to call that time. They called it in round 23 after losing however many rounds in a row that was. But it feels like maybe that's something they can go back and look at is, call the timeout earlier when they've lost, 3-4 rounds in a row to one team. That's when you really need to, knock on the door, have a quick chat with the coach, have a quick chat with everyone and figure out exactly how you're going to round out this game. Because what we saw a lot from Sersha was stacked sites, going 4-1 splits, right? And hoping that they're on the right side. Sometimes they were. Most of the time they were. But then you had Jawei just running in, getting a triple from the top of Gen, and you're just like, well, what's going on here? Huh?
No, exactly. I like that you brought that up because not many people think of like the in-between the round, like what happens in that conversation. And you have to stop the bleeding early, especially against a team like one who we know can get a really quick hot hand. You might think it's a snowball, suddenly an avalanche, and you might not be ready for it.
Kurang satu
It's
perak.
characteristic from Sersha to bleed early on. They do take their time to figure out, okay, our defaults aren't working, our initial game plans aren't actually up to par. What will work against this team? And we saw that at the very start. It was the pistol being won by one team. It was them defining those rounds. The only saving grace was that incredible thrifty that brought them back into the game.
Look, off the back of that timeout that I was talking about as well, Alert was in attacker spawn with 1 minute and 26 seconds on the clock. He tailwinded straight down mid. He was chasing him. But what we need to talk about is how one team reacted. They had 3 players straight back in spawn, ready to deal with the pressure. Got that pick, managed to pick up round 23, take us one step closer to OT. And that is exactly what impressed me about one team. They were coming in completely prepared. They had some counter strats ready. And that's why the game ended up being as close as possible. And we know both these teams, they love Haven. They both excel on Haven. And moving into that second map of the series, that is where things are going to be even more entertaining.
Yeah, if they had their first chance for one team on Ascent, Haven is that second chance. Despite Sersha picking up that map, it's something they love to play, but it's not the best success for them. It is around 50-50 in terms of what they've done in split number 2. You look on the stats of one team, they've only lost this map once in local competition, and it's just something they're so accustomed to playing. They love to separate around those sites. They try to go for the split approaches as much as possible. And when you have a 3-site map, you already know that the defense is going to be thinner than usual. One team takes advantage of that.
Not only that, but one team gets to select the side because map 2 is Sersha's map pick, so they're going to have that advantage as well.
And there's going to be a difference here this time. I'm not expecting a mirror matchup because you look at one side of the fence, right, with Sersha here. They love to play that Sova instead of the Faye that you see coming from one team.
Biasanya nggak bacot doang. Sampai ke catur tuh berapa jauh sih, guys? Kayak jauh ya kayaknya. Kalau sampai jam 8 gue dikasih sampai jam 8. You are the fire, I'm gasoline. I love you, I love you, I love you too. Tahu tim game kurang dari 2 jam itu loh. My mascara is smudging. Only up. Aja downloadnya lama banget dah. Nah, iya lu kan emang pro player game-game gini. Itu Indonesia itu kenapa? ada 0 rupiah. Hah, mana? Mana Cok? What the fuck, kenapa? Oh iya lu hungs 0. Seseorang 0. Oh iya juga. Kenapa ya? Kenapa begitu ya? Aing juga nggak tahu. Harusnya nggak segitu sih. Udah expired kali. Hai Nova. Hai. Kenceng banget suaranya. Udah mau mulai Cok, aduh gue pengen nonton lagi.
The rest of it is
nonton di YouTube.
We'll see you guys in a bit.
Masih bisa nonton kalau di YouTube.
Factor here for Sersha. He's gonna
Suara
throw
lu
his
kecil
force
banget.
for the
Oh iya,
site.
iya.
That alert and the rest
Gue
of the
ngomongnya
crew are
kecil
gonna
juga
hit.
Cok.
That's pretty much it. The
Sama
rest of it
ketutupan
is,
lagu
I'm
gak
gonna
sih?
have my own little adventure. I'm
Gua
gonna go
kecil
find
juga sih
these
nanti.
angles towards Link, towards B site, and then suddenly I am there to find that absolute pitch. Whether the tap or the defense, XC really has been absolutely incredible on a map like Haven. I remember when they were facing off against Made in Thailand, they even got to call the Hunter's Fury from spawn correctly. He's just that kind of player who knows he can hit his shots and be confident as he struts and walks around the map.
Well, in terms of form that we've seen today, we were talking about, who's better on what, and we didn't really touch on the Sentinels in terms of their performance too much in the pre-show. But as you can see here, look, Rainy playing clutch, definitely the MVP for one team in that first map of the day. And him on the KJ, yes, can be a dangerous prospect. But Rolex, as we mentioned, showed up when he was necessary, but was very slow to start. So do you think he's going to be able to feel a bit more confident now he has that Cypher instead?
I think so. I think with the Killjoy, he may have felt a bit more locked in into what he's supposed to do, as opposed to that Cypher where you can be more proactive, you play for yourself a bit more, you can lurk on the completely other side of the map and try and go aggressive if you really want to, due to those cages that allow a bit more movement and a bit more space, and I think it will really benefit them. You look at the Sentinels, you said we didn't really talk about them much, they didn't have exactly the best game. Both of the Sentinels on either side kind of taking the lower portion of the scoreboard, but you saw like a player like Winner pick up the operator and attack, and I think that brings confidence into a team that really plays off of it.
I think it gives Sersha more flexibility moving forward. The fact that they can actually have more hands on deck, playing the aggressive nature of the map especially, give them the chance to actually push with more players rather than just the initial duel we saw in the set.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2 is ready. We're jumping into Haven. Let's see if Sersha can close it in 2.
And we are, ladies and gentlemen, back now with map number 2. Sersha with the lead so far, one team though, ready to contest yet again. And as we've been talking about in the panel, the only stark difference here, the Sentinels on hand. Are Rolex and Rainy ready to do battle yet again? Will we see a bit more from the backline this time around? I can't wait because, well, for Sersha, this is their chance to close out an initial series on their home turf. One team though, that's a chance.
Gara-gara gitu banget. Nggak ribut gitu, Cok. Wih. Nggak dikasih nonton.
Look to play for the middle so far.
Waduh.
Alert here.
720 dah anjing.
Look to play for the middle so far. Alert here. Leading the charge yet again. And when we see their initial pistol rounds,
aku mau pindah ke
alert to the test
aja, guys.
as much as possible. Dashing on in already, wants to go for Winner, but the frenzy up close enough to get that takedown. One also trying to wrap around, but here
What?
oh, it to his face, and it's Sersha now.
Nggak boleh nih kalau 1080 udah ya. Sorry bang. Burik, gak suka.
Life in the eye and still alive, man.
Yeah, it's only a flesh wound. He says.
All good, I can operate with the other. But this time around, it's Xe with the find onto Yan Li. Over now towards A. Zhao Wei searching, seeking for that target. LBY though holds it all by his lonesome. And with Xe now caught out by Rainy, we go to 1v1.
Yeah, 1v1. Rainy here. Let's see how sunny his day may be. Passing through sewers, and you can see LBY is expecting it, but still Rainy gets the kill. And the opening round once more, pistol here for one.
Oh, LBY, what you doing here? Rainy floods through the sewers, and it's one team who will get that initial round. Here we go yet again, though. Stellar clutch, sure, by Rainy. But you can see for one team, at the very start, they dictate the pace of the game by catching out the initial entries of Sersha.
Search as of the moment here. Nicely done. Especially by one to really stop a lot of that aggressive pushes that we saw there towards that B main. They open up with the kill, take down alert, stop him from being a problem early on, and then the rest
Cewek lu yang bener lu, nggak usah
just
senengan lu di carry. Orang lagi 2v2 malah maju sendiri.
Yeah. I'm not too sure if it's more of a one-team success or a Sersha lack. Maybe it's a little bit of both with Sersha here. Yet again onto the eco state. Surapop with a Marshall in hand as well. And for one team, when they play the defense, they do spread out accordingly. You have a bit of utility though to try and hold off that B site. Sersha trying to fake the rotate. Sticking around by the smoke so far, but one team isn't biting.
One team as of the moment, they know that on a round like this against a Thrifty, they can't really play into the hands of the attacking side who simply want to overrun, simply want to overwhelm.
Belum masuk side, winner. Musuhnya lu udah lo aja. Modal nice. Iya, cok, babi. Cewek yang bener nih. Sumpah. Gue lagi download.
Look who's waiting for them on the opposite end. Xiaoyu, Bulldog at the ready. Dart flies though, and he's gonna break that. Is it enough intel to actually stop Sersha in their tracks? They do rethink their plans though, going towards A. And Xe wants to take a poke at it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult position here for Xe because the Xiaoyu's marking him, so difficult cross, difficult entry as well here. Flashes on out, Winner still at the helm, and Rainy's there to help him.
Here you go again. The twin pillars of one team holding down the backside.
Ngepick, Rainy. Sekarang lu ya, Rainy.
Gets that takedown. Sersha needs to cross and fast. Yan Li though holding close, but suddenly a wild Rolex appears. Sersha here trying to find these eco kills, but Winner a smoke criminal on the inside. All left to Surapop in a 3v1. But it's a struggle to make it towards the spike. He still gets one for his troubles, but in the end, the team will take the round.
Hey, good damage done by Sersha though in that round, especially considering how little control they have of the situation. They go on that seaside execute.
Bisa-bisanya cok up the pancing.
Of course, at the end, Surafop doing all the damage he can towards Xiaoyu, but
wait, you're down one way. Don't throw so much. Buffering jancok.
For one, if you're in a bonus like this, we see a lot of times.
Watch party apa ini? Buffering terus. Watch party streamernya lagi
on the
download
defense
game ini.
Where they try and do get aggressive, and this is one of the few types of rounds that they flow chart in getting aggressive.
Aduh anjing. Mau 10 menit lagi cok. Wih, gak ke loading nih. Capek banget. Wah, bisa dilimitnya nggak nih Steam-nya? Steam-nya bisa dilimitnya nggak nih downloadnya? Waduh, udah begini siapa? Udah sampai kelar, udah mau kelar anjing round ketiga. Kok masih loading begini? Waduh, nonton apa gua? Pause dulu lah ya.
Pause dulu. State of where they were and especially economically, firepower wise.
Aku lagi download game.
But at the end they won't
have the full
arm that you would want to expect in this case early on, and this really could have been a round that they were able to take if they just expected the peak from LBY to come in from the platform instead of Vlogs. They simply had to misread there of the situation, but I think so
matchnya
far,
nggak
one
gitu
are on point.
watchable sih
Just get a recording
nggak
of you saying good damage.
Good damage.
Lay it up twice in a row. Oh, it's true though. Sersha, they were hampered effectively.
Bubar guys, bubar ya. Matchnya nggak seru cok. 480 atau 360 nggak mau, boring, mendingan gua nggak nonton. Burik ya guys ya. Besok kan siapa sih? Ini kenapa cok?
What if we have that kind of attitude? The cause repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again.
Nggak dikasih nonton 720 ini.
The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
A couple of days ago, we hit 1 million subscribers on this channel. When people look at my channel, they like to make this comment. Oh, just an attractive female. That's easy. People love downplaying other people's success. You know why? Because your success acts like a mirror to themselves. They don't want to admit that success demands hard work, resilience, and yes, even some unfair advantages. They only want to believe that it's luck because then you're going to be the living proof of their failure and their laziness. But there's something that's been hidden from you, something that many of you don't know about me. People made fun of me countless times, telling me that I would never succeed as a YouTuber and mocking my YouTube growth. They talked behind my back, saying things like, who does she think she is? And who would watch her? Nobody believed in me, but I told them I might not have the results I want today, but I will become a big YouTuber. And when I do, all you will be able to do is watch me from your screen. Someone's opinion does not have to become your reality, and we're here today. But it was a journey, not just a destination. This journey, which took me from being the joke of the crowd to hitting the 1 million subscriber mark, is something I never shared. Today, I want to change that. I know that no matter how much explain, there will be always people who get it twisted, finding other excuses for themselves not to succeed. I want you to know the story behind the channel, because if it inspires even one person among you, it's worth sharing, and this is my story. I come from a wealthy family, or should I say, we used to be wealthy. If you don't know my background, my dad is Turkish and my mom is Japanese. My dad comes from a very traditional family. He used to have family business with his siblings, and even though the business was doing well, we never had the chance to really experience wealth. My Turkish grandpa had the mindset of, you shouldn't spend your money and you shouldn't spend time only with your nuclear family. You should always have your relatives with you. So even though we had wealth, we never had the chance to really spend time together as a family. My mom used to save her money to take my brother and me to different countries every summer in Asia so that we could see other cultures and experience them. Growing up, I didn't see my dad that much because he was constantly working for us, even on weekends. Additionally, for a couple of months each year, he was in China working with his business partners. My dad used to listen to my grandfather a lot. In traditional families, there is nothing like listening to your child's feelings and opinions. The people in power, in most cases determined by gender and age, will decide what's correct and what's wrong for that family. One of my aunts was forced into marriage at a young age, even though she wanted to pursue her studies. But my grandpa wanted her to marry because in his mindset, girls shouldn't study. My grandfather wanted his grandchildren to attend specific school and receive a particular education. During my elementary years, I had many friends, both girls and boys, because in the 5th grade, people do not really discriminate based on gender. However, my teacher told me to stop talking to boys and only befriend girls because I'm a girl. This experience made me realize how problematic the school was. I wanted to change schools, but my dad did not allow me to do so because my grandfather had made the decision. When I talked to my mom about it, she suggested that I take scholarship exams at other schools. In Turkey, we have a system. If you take an exam of private schools, you can get a scholarship and you can basically have education for free, or they cover a part of your education based on your performance at the exam. If I could get a scholarship, my mom said we could convince my dad. My mom also told me that if I didn't want to end up like my aunt and wanted my own freedom, I had to work. She said that education and a career would be key to saving me. With education and a career, if someone does wrong to you, you will have the power to walk away. That's why it's so important to educate girls. Often, women are put in a vulnerable position when they're dependent on someone else. But if you have an education and a career, you will create your own path. And by education, I'm not only talking about formal education. My mom used to work abroad, but after giving my birth to my brother and me, she...
Lebih menarik nonton koran, Cok. Kok bisa nonton Cok? Waduh, buffer. Baru gua ngomong. Ini jadi golden waste gini. Golden waste apa sih?
Guys, they keep playing. Jing, you blind?
I flash? Okay. Wait, like a bit, okay? I delay the flash. Actually, I go flash straight. Go.
Kayak ini ya.
I'm gonna jump, okay?
I jump.
Aku mau main sama Jing. Itu kenapa sih?
Elling, one more.
Hoi! Nyentot.
Ini apa sih? Oh, 1 subscriber. Ih, mau kapak ya. Sama anjing.
Come, take my gun. You want to go see? Come. I sacrifice my life.
Wih, MVP-nya Alfire, Cioks. What the fuck?
He spent almost all of her time raising us. After hearing this from my mom, I
Mario
had
Teguh
a
tahu
moment
nggak,
of
Kak?
realization.
Tahu.
As a kid,
Bro,
I
itu
always
golden waste.
wondered why women in bad situations never walked away. It wasn't that they didn't want to walk away.
Ini
but
Cok,
they
biar
were in
memotivasi
situations
kita
where
semua
they
ya guys
couldn't.
ya.
From that day on, I studied hard and eventually
Watch this
got
if no one
scholarships
believes
to the
in you.
schools I wanted
No
to
one
attend.
believes in
I was able
me.
to be surrounded by the people I wanted to be with. Since 5th grade, my dad and my mom believed in my decisions about
I love
education. I decided on my high
watch
school and
strap.
career path all by myself. I had a vision
I actually
and they
found
believed in
one.
it. It was one of my first life lessons.
was
If
so
someone doesn't
nice
believe in
when
you
it
and you
went
want to
out.
make them believe in
Sold
you,
out.
you need to show undeniable results, my friends. Worlds can be changed, but the results of actions will always stay. After I got into my dream high school, which is one of the best high schools actually in Turkey, I thought things were finally starting to be perfect in my life. But during my high school years, one of my dad's business partners, so his brother, ruined family business and we ended up in huge debt. And our history with financial struggles started from that day. When my dad went to my Turkish grandparents' house, my uncle blamed my dad for stealing and ruining business, even though he was the one who did it. And since my dad is one of the youngest brothers and my uncle was the oldest, of course, my traditional grandfather chose to believe the older guy. We didn't know what to do with our lives. We were in a huge debt and we didn't have a solution. During our hardest time, my Turkish side ignored us. They acted like we didn't exist. I'm not saying that all Turkish people are awful, this and that, but I'm just sharing my real experiences. Families in Turkey are very complex. They can have a strong bond, yet they can ruin each other's lives, which I never understood. Or maybe it's just my Turkish side that is fucked up. I don't really consider them as my family, to be honest. My mom called my Japanese grandparents in the middle of the night, asking for help. My Japanese grandparents didn't even hesitate to help, and they helped us financially until recently actually. They helped us so much and they saved my life. That's one of the reasons why I visit them so often in Japan. My mom started working 7 days a week, non-stop, and my dad moved to another state to open a restaurant with the financial help of my Japanese
Alhamdulillah,
the restaurant was actually doing well in the beginning, but a couple of months later, one of our employees forgot to turn off the fryer and the restaurant caught on fire. It took a lot of time to repair, and during that time, we lost the majority of our customers. I wasn't able to see my dad that much I was seeing my mom getting more and more tired every day. She couldn't take a break because she needed to feed the family and never had time for herself. With all the money she made, she paid for my brothers and my education, allowing us to have a good childhood at the expense of her own health. In life, I respect my mom the most. She taught me what a strong woman is. But no matter how strong you are, at the end of the day, you're a human, and humans need rest. Seeing her getting more and more tired and sick every day hurt. I didn't have a great experience in high school, and I eventually became very depressed. I didn't want to leave my bed, go to school, or do anything. I hated life so much. The only thing I enjoyed during high school was watching YouTube videos in English. At first, I couldn't understand what they were saying since I didn't speak much English, but I was determined to understand, and I started watching YouTube videos 5-6 hours per day. I know all these are very privileged experiences, and I'm very sorry if I'm triggering you, but I just want to share my story, and if it can help someone, I would be very glad. Now looking back, all these are very privileged experiences.
Jangan nangis. Fuck. Aduh, sensi cok. Boleh langsung dimediamin semua aja nggak? Thank you for subscribing, Bintang. Cek kamera, hold kamera. Apa sih? Yaudah ya. Oh shit. Tuh slow, brother.
Oh, don't look up. We need to get to the top. I'm sure we'll make it. What awaits us there? The unknown is frightening.
Nggak. Ini baru mulai ya, gue udah bingung nih. Gue kemana? Oh. Startnya kemana? Ini nih.
Well, let's go.
Sabar sensi kegedean cok. Wah, goblok.
The journey of 10,000 steps begins with the first step.
Oke. Oke bang, udah jatuh gua. Jalan lurusnya gak bisa.
I remember as a child, my parents helped me to walk along the fence. I felt their support.
Kespitan ya guys.
If I fall, my parents will catch me. But now I'm alone and no one will catch me. Does it mean to be an adult?
What are you saying? Cipudi main on dia soalnya bakalan banyak emosi nih. Enggak guys, I'm a changed woman, okay? I will not angry. I think. Oke. Oke bang. Ini gue kemana? Gue di mana cok? Nyangkut bangke. Wah, ini awal terbaik ya guys ya. Oke. Gue nyangkut di bawah. Keluarnya gimana? Kira-kira guys. Nyangkut di mana tau? Wih, gue bilang nyasar ini gimana cok? Halo? Gue gimana keluarnya? Naik dong, naik situ dong. Weh, udahlah. Weh. Ini ada offside anjir. Ada offside, cok. Gue nyasar. Cok. Boleh ulang nggak? Ini gimana ulangnya, cok? Kok ini di mana? Nyangkut di sela-sela begitu, cok. Terus keluarnya lewat mana? Iya, keluarnya gimana? Lewat mana? Alhamdulillah. Nah, kan? Di mana, cok? Ya Allah, cobaan anjing. Cok. Gue harus keluar lewat mana? Lewat mana, cok? What the fuck? Sebenarnya kita ulang aja ya. Nah, mantap.
Oh, don't look up. We need to get to the top. I'm sure we'll make it.
Kenapa sensinya turun mulu sih?
I wonder what awaits us there? The unknown is frightening. Well, let's go. The journey of 10,000 steps begins with the first step. I remember as a child, my parents helped me to walk along the fence. I felt their support. If I fall, my parents will catch me. But now I'm alone and no one will catch me. Does it mean to be an adult?
Waduh, bahaya, cok. Tuh jatuh lagi anjing. Lagi kadel. Pokoknya begini. Wih, gitu. Oh, keren.
Sometimes it's hard to choose the right path, but don't be afraid. You can always repeat. We learn from our mistakes.
Anjing. Tahun ini umur berapa? Aku umur 23 tahun ini. Desember. Weh, jangan lari, bocil.
It's very hard to make a choice when you don't know where it will lead.
Cok, lu kenapa lari cepet banget, Cong? Cong. Wah, offside ini, Cok, ini game anjing. Astagfirullahaladzim. Gue salah jalan nih. Gue salah jalan ya. Kayak gue salah jalan, cok. Salah pilih anjing. Siap space aja. Bisa naik ke situ gak guys? Kira-kira. Gue takut gini ya. Anjing. Anjing. Anjing, anjing. Bocil jangan parkour begini, bahaya anjing. Jangan ditiru ya guys ya, jatuh mati anjing. Tangan gua keringetan, sumpah dah. Tangan gua keringetan banget, cok. Bocil jalannya pelan-pelan aja ya. Kita harus sabar ya guys ya. Diam-diam gitu kayak hidup ya. Waduh gak enak nih posisinya. Posisi liatnya nih gini. Weh. Aduh ya Allah. Ya Allah, ya Allah.
There is something strange going on with this world, though there has always been something wrong with it. What everyone clung to, the stability, has been shaken. Maybe this is a chance for me.
Ini ngomong tuh ceritanya dia ya. Tapi ini bukannya laki ya. Bocil lu jalan cepet banget tuh. Nanti jatuh cibai. Aduh gue takut cok kalau liat kasur-kasur gini. Gak mau gue. Dalam hidup gak boleh kebanyakan shortcut ya guys ya. Aduh sabar. Sahabat ini sampai finish. Emang jauh banget ya. Anjing. Suaranya bikin serem.
The railroad was opened here 120 years ago. My grandfather worked here. I often went to see him. My grandfather worked here for 60 years and then he died.
Kenapa curhat sih? Kasur aja sih nggak. Gue nggak mau aneh-aneh ya. Kamu aneh-aneh gue sumpah.
If you want to go quickly, go with friends. If you want to go far, go alone.
Ini apa cok? Gue gak kena tipu kan? Iya tentu gue kena tipu anjing. Kita jogging aja ya guys ya, chill, santuy, jogging manja cok. Kayak mau jatuh gitu.
From here, you have a great view of the favelas. This is where everyone lives in poverty, which is hard to get out of. This is where my whole life and the lives of my goddamn parents have been.
Goddamn parents. Why you say goddamn? Gila, slow and steady bro. Itunya. Anjing, gue takut liat bawah cok. Astagfirullah, gue takut banget ya tuh. Sabar, tahan gue kayak gitu. Lari dong, gak mau. Jogging manja aja gitu ya. Takut gue. Kalau jatuh nggak lucu anjing, sumpah. Lucu buat kalian anjing, nggak lucu buat gue. You gotta take it slow, bro. Kayak gini boleh lari dah. Lama banget ini. Lucu. Kayak mau ngebak gitu cowok, takut nih. Lihat mana guys? Ini ke kanan ke bawah cok. Babi ya bisa kayak dibikin bingung gitu. Gue takut cok mau lari anjing. Gue takut. Aduh takut. Takut. Kentut. Angle-nya aneh banget anjing. Anjing. Takut cok. Hehe. Kayak mau jatuh gitu.
You won't make it. You're a weak kid. Go back to the favelas. Your friends are there. Your destiny and life is there.
Yeah, go
You have to seek happiness there. Get a job in the favelas and live there. There are many like you. You have to be with them and not stand out. Make it. You're a weak kid. Go back to the favelas. Your friends are there. Your destiny and life is there.
The audacity. Oh my god. Hold on. Simmer panik. Ada naik jangan lompat weh. Dengkulnya mantul sih. Wih. Takut, Cok. Oh shit. Oh shit. Naik sama lompat apa bedanya, Cok? Naik kan harus lompat kan? Ya nggak sih? Ya nggak sih, guys? Guys, I am scared. Anjing. Dia kayak jet ya, guys? Bisa ngambang nggak? Jatuh seberapa jauh ya, guys?
To get to the new one, you first have to make a jump and get off the ground, not knowing what the future holds.
Gak mau anjing. Fuck are you talking about? Kaget gua. Kaget tuh. Thank you for subscribing, Alda. Jangan lupa di like ya guys. Yang belum subscribe jangan lupa subscribe. Thank you. Kamera. Gak ada stamina ini bocil. Ngetut! Apa? Aku gak ngomong apa-apa guys. Tadi bukan aku ya ngomongnya. Wait. Oh my god. Berisik. Akankah aku meledak, guys? Kalau ini.
My father worked here as a driller, and he always smelled of fuel oil. I was afraid of him and hoped that one day he wouldn't come back from work.
What the fuck?
He drank a lot and often beat my mother and me, but that's in the past.
You'll never make it. You'll never make it. You bastard.
Oh, I'm still scared of him.
Anjing jatuh bocor. Waduh. Anjing. Panik dikit lagi, bukan panik dikit lagi ya guys ya. Berapa panik itu anjir. Sabar. Nah, mana guys? Ini. Ini distraction ya.
Some say that soon no one will need oil, but it is unlikely to happen sooner than in 20 to 30 years, and meanwhile oil is still a resource that people kill for.
Buzz Lightyear, the world's greatest superhero, now the world's greatest toy! Buzz has it all! Blocky wrist communicator! Glowing Buzz Lightyear! Combined pulsating laser light! Multi-phase voice simulator! Mission in uncharted space!
Anjing Alfabi. Anjing banget Alfabi. Makasih plus 10.000-nya anjing. Terus sampai sini ya? Waduh. Astagfirullah. Aduh ya Allah.
Sometimes it's hard to choose the right path, but don't be afraid, you can always repeat.
Gue refund dulu anjing, sumpah. Gue refund cok. Baru sekali jatuh. Kali-kali. Aduh, anjing. Gua mana ya? Kayak meningkat my losses gitu loh. Kayaknya jauh lagi anjing catur cok. 2 juta sih, fuck. Mau nangis lah. Aduh, cobaan hidup ini. Ajak lagi main. Gue free fire lu, bro. Baby. Halo.
Halo.
Aku bete banget, capek.
Kenapa?
Sini Discord. Oh my god. Aku di challenge kan sama si El.
Iya.
Main only up.
Oh, main only. Coba aku lihat.
Jatuh, tinggi banget. Aku udah tinggi banget. I was doing so
Terus
good.
kamu rage quit.
Iya, aku udah gak kuat. Kayaknya deh.
Match found.
Bete anjir.
Ya anjing jatuhnya jauh banget.
Jauh banget, aku udah tinggi banget, sumpah. Aku bete banget. And I was doing like so good. I was doing so fucking good.
Tadi kamu nonton gak sih? Gak nobar ya? Lagi 10 10-6 tuh udah balik ke lobby mereka.
Pendek bete tuh. Itu masih pendek lagi, Oh my god. Aku kayak nggak kuat. Apa? Balik ke lobby? Kenapa? Kenapa, Cok?
Oh.
Kalau itu masih pendek, gue nggak kuat. Gue udah fix nggak kuat ini.
Mapnya ada 2 gitu? Apa 3? Iya.
Kok kenapa ini weh? Gara-gara itu lagi, gara-gara yang diasan lagi nggak ya?
Enggak itu udah lama harusnya, bukan gara-gara itu.
Ya bisa aja, Bi.
Ya bisa aja sih.
Apaan tuh anjing? Thank you, Evan. Hai Evan, thank you so much for the 100k. Kok lucu sih anjir lo gue. Dahan main Olympic up, iya. Aku refund lah, nggak kuat kayak gue deh.
This is gonna hurt, agents, but remember, I am the effect, not the cause. You did this.
Yo.
You made me.
Yo.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yo, sup?
Yo, kenapa sih? Kenapa what the fuck? What?
Anjing di stun.
Dizzy's up top. Dizzy has targets.
Kanan tuh, Bi.
Yo, what the fuck, Phoenix musuh.
Cállate.
Oh, ini.
Wah.
They're not ready.
Anjing ada Viper gay banget.
One less.
Bibi dia nge-flash pakai bridge. Terlaluan anjir.
Charge your bolts.
They're not ready.
Reloading. Sumpah gue tungguin sampai flash gue siap.
They're not ready.
Mana sih flash gua?
Yo. Ada bidang yang
Somebody's there.
Aku udah nunggu lama gak ada
Sawadikap.
Baby mi sono. dapetnya kayak
Bye. Hah? Marcel.
Gimana sih? Aku tryhard sih. Ih, di heal. Baik banget temannya. Ih, aku is pakai stinger bi.
Bye.
Kenapa, baby? Cibai. Cibai, you know what it stands for?
Mampus.
Cina baik. Anjing, di balik box dia. Tau gak, Bi? Aku nge-mute sih ya, Bi. Kamu kenapa cibai-cibai?
Sorry.
Tau gak cibai itu apa?
Tahu.
Cina baik.
Blind.
Ya, goblok Cina. Padahal udah buta kan.
I was wait.
Kan kamu
Next.
Final stage.
Ini tuh. Gua ngomong.
Tak.
Wih, banget. Di.
Hah?
Dizzy's up top.
Yo, fuck.
Cutting their vision. Don't resist. Results.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Aku bodoh banget, tolong.
No.
And four.
Pick me.
Dominating.
Not ready.
Line up.
15 kills to go.
So good. Aku nge-fit.
Reloading. Dizzy's up. Shot her. See ya. Crash is ready.
Temen gue kan lagi. Baby, so good.
40 kill. Just
Kayak
like
DM
normal
biasa. Pas banget menangnya 40k.
Ayo.
Awan.
Gas.
Siapa itu?
Si wow.
Kenapa dia?
Cek buy one si wow.
Ih. Udah pasti kalah sih ya dia. G again G.
Sabar, ganti skin. Bosen sih.
Radia sombong.
Oh ya pakai skin ini nih. Gua rek everybody.
Ih, ajak ini. Dustin.
Mana Dustin?
Tuh, Rata. Anjay.
Oh ini Fidel ini.
Takut banget. Itu Fidel.
Iya.
Pakai PC Dustin.
Oh.
Becet. Ngomong anjing.
The game ended and both player from was confused. Kayaknya diberhentiin sama Riot deh.
Kenapa ya? Kenapa itu, Bi?
Pakai bug ya.
Match found.
Beneran gak yang Ascent kah?
Atau enggak ada yang nge-cheat.
Goblok. Siapa yang nge-cheat, Cok?
Tahuan.
Ini map lain.
Oh, ini baru pertama kali nih. Distrik ya.
Tuh main apa ya? Kamu pakai Rina
Viper gay banget sumpah di DM. Wallnya wall diagonal. Tapi ultinya gak guna aja.
Aku butain semua termasuk temen.
Gas, ini aja Bi.
Apa?
Raise.
Yes, I pumped.
No buta-buta kita cuma only Reina. Who uses
Mapnya kecil kayaknya deh ini.
Ini
Distrik.
kayak split.
Split ya. Iya, what the fuck?
Yoro. Anjir si Yoro. I gave a second chance to Cupid.
Strap yourselves in, agents. This ride's going to get bumpy.
Bumpy. Bibi. You are clear.
Ini aku bikin wall deh.
Anjing.
Grenade.
Makasih bang.
Oh shit. Wah, dibalik.
Gua wave, Bibi, aku gak bisa nembak.
Oh, wallnya hilang kalau mati. Wah.
Oh, dia harus di wall lagi.
Iya anjing.
Ini mapnya sangat confusing.
Three for me.
Somebody out. 10 seconds until stage change. Stage 2.
In sight.
Reload.
Three for me. Four.
Miller Rich. Raise.
My skin is so good. Wait! Ini Fidel! Heal! Wih, Fidel anjing.
Calm down, Bo. Calm down, Bo.
No. No, this is... Lah, anjing gak bisa ditembak.
Ah.
Serius. What is this?
Mapnya kecil anjir ini.
Ya Allah.
Close range battle.
Wih, boleh next. Makasih.
Reloading.
Anjing, handal. Ini heal. Ulti gua boleh lama dapetnya.
What? Makasih bang. Sage anjing. Di slow gue lu bang.
Oke.
Ini jamet banget sumpah. Harusnya pakai
Ulti GG.
Ini gimana Bi mainnya?
Mampus ada ulti, Wak.
Gak berani maju anjing.
What the fuck?
Tolong lu Bi.
Waduh.
Iya udah mati.
Ya goblok.
Fidel beban ih.
Dapat nih. Ada apa cok?
Dropped. Grenade. Bomb buddy.
Wah, baby ada OP.
Reloading.
Anjing. Baik.
Message sent.
Reloading.
Opponent killed. Reloading.
Who's next?
Kok nggak bisa?
Pathetic. My old friend.
Yeah, we lose. What the fuck?
Baby, we lose. Dibilang. Oh shit. Wait. Gua nggak bisa nembak situ anjing.
Ya.
Sage beban.
Not ready.
Sage beban.
Kita beban Bi anjir.
Ya.
Babi banget tau
Ya.
dislowin anjir.
Siren there, what the
We're
fuck?
experiencing a technical issue at the moment. We will be right back. Really?
Ya. Sabar ganti skin.
Hai Hyung. Aku F.
Match found.
You carry. Mau juga cok, bandel dari Hyung. Ini map apa lagi cok?
Kasbah. Essen kan? Cing. Apa ya?
They have no idea
Cat.
how heartless I am.
Rata mampus.
Rata kan ini bih. Liner.
Gigi.
Gigi liner. Who's angry?
Kecil.
Why?
Kontol.
Kamu streamingnya jam berapa? Jam 4?
Jam 4 ya. Jam 4 ada ya?
Tadi lawan siapa?
Lawan DRG.
Hah?
DRG.
Oh.
Gak ada.
You noob.
Ya. Ya lol.
You know. Burik banget mic-nya yang pakai headset apa sih ya?
Earphone.
Pakai earphone. Aku pengen main dah. Ntar ketemu deadlock deh. Kalau ranked. Bengis banget DP-nya si Nuts. DP Discord-nya Nuts. Tadi game mana scrimnya?
Menang tipis. 13, 11, 14, 10 ya? Lupa.
Shit PC.
You!
I think it's me. Aku baru baca anjir. Mendingan only up sih anjir daripada getting over itu cacat deh.
Hello, Joksin.
Let the bullets fly.
Let the game begins.
Hey, fuck him.
What?
Hey, I'll cheer.
Need help.
Everyone in spawn.
This one's more than skin.
Oi.
Apun.
One down. Reloading.
Blok banget anjing musuhnya.
One more.
3 seconds.
Why are you fighting me?
Satchel out. Done.
Blinding. Raze is on a rampage. Just start away.
I no more orb.
Hey, Fikri, stop killing.
New stage in 10.
Sisa! No!
Weak.
Sisa. Kamu sisa.
Stage 2.
Blocking sight. Stealing sight.
CCD ini mah.
Pelor, baby. CCD.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out. Reload.
Flash out.
Charge out.
Reloading.
Reloading. Stealing sight.
Ih, buka anjing.
Charge your hearts.
Watch this.
Fik, how to get the ulti?
Take the orb.
Wait for me.
Oh!
Ya, bapak.
Raise dead. Out. Finished.
On you, turret.
Missiles. Cutting their vision.
Wah.
No.
Cabut anjing.
Reloading.
DB 1.
Iya.
Oke.
Pathetic. Cutting their vision.
Going to charge my ult.
What am I doing? Why this killjoy so much?
Bomb grenade out. Placing sentry.
Ih! Oh, ada begituan. Map baru. This is
10 seconds until stage change.
Okay, it's time.
Feeling sight.
Ya Allah, gua ngapain?
Di lockdown anjing.
Natural out.
Habis reload. Wait, aduh, babi lah.
15 kills to go.
Too late.
Cutting their vision.
Who's next? 5 kills left.
My ult's ready.
Monster on the loose.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Bibi, aku lagi DM kena ulti. Marah gua. Babi suaranya. Kok double? Soalnya dia ngomong in game. Kalau double soalnya ngomong in game. Ya nggak sih?
Iya, iya.
Kalau dia ngomong in game double. Ngeri banget tuh 3113. Gacor bang.
Again? Lagi? Seru anjing.
Seru.
Steam bacon.
Baby chat Z Phantom.
Match found.
Z Phantom nggak ada kok.
You don't have? Ada.
Iya.
Like Mako.
They have no idea how heartless I am.
Oh, Brim ultinya ya? Open up the sky.
Jangan di spawn ya.
Udah sky.
Loh kok jadi Scars? Oh. Loh.
Dia ranked.
You know, while, like you mentioned, a lot of people suspected maybe it was Jadeite, maybe even household names like Crazy Raccoon or Fennel that would represent Japan, still, I think it's maybe good news for the region that
Bumpudin and nice real ka. Deadlock?
There's a lot of storyline here, a lot of competition going on in Challengers Japan. So if you missed it, definitely check out the grand finals to get ready for Ascension.
Alas ya boy.
Kenapa?
Enggak.
Kenapa?
Did your teleporters have a little mishap?
Oh, gue tahu. Wah, sini. Long range.
Kamu kok nggak jadi pakai?
Reload.
Tolol.
Reload.
Oh.
Aduh, gua nggak. Nembak apa?
I need healing. No.
Insecto.
Weh, aduh, tolol banget.
Susah banget anjing kayak gue babi lah.
Pathetic.
Reloading.
Kok ada di belakang?
Recon.
Shot
down.
One down. Ya! Nomor. Iya, ada yang dapat ada.
Party's over.
What the fuck?
Lo banget mau nge-heal, bodo amat gue diem di sini.
Bot destroyed.
Dibutain temen.
Anyone else?
Wih, ada phantom tuh. Fuck.
Inside.
Ih, Peter. Iya, aku nggak ada orb mulu.
Gila, mungkin carry.
Baby tryhard dong.
Terlihat kocak.
Amat lu.
They will cover.
Not ready yet.
Recon.
Anjing dia butuh
Seconds until stage change. Now for. Final stage.
Not ready yet.
Enemy down.
My territory, my. I have.
Waduh.
Oh, bisa anjing.
Ya.
Get out of my way.
Ini sempit banget mapnya.
Inside.
Oke deh, gacor.
Missiles. Cutting their vision. for dead.
Dikit. You play Fortnite? No, I don't.
Ngeri.
Ngeri. Ih, seru sih ya. Tim DM. Time for Queen. Bilangin si Wobi. Nope.
Wow noob.
Nope banget. Nope banget. Top G mamen. Aduh.
Oh, main rank asik game.
Kamu main rank se-game?
Ya.
Emang gak ada scrim?
Gak ada.
Aku mau main.
Let's go.
Kamu mau?
Ya.
Gua sama aku.
Yes.
Cool.
Chat komplek semua anjing ini.
Ada kita. Udah bisa update udah dong. Update guys, seru guys. Aku takut bi ketemu deadlock terus di ulti.
Lul, keikat.
Terikat.
Wah.
Warren masih live kah? Masih live cak. Summer never get. Take me by the hand and why don't we go? Anjing Aron lagi masih live nih.
Gede gitu. Lagu itu mahal, bisa saja jadi 10 triliun. Seperti gede banget, seperti luas banget. Jadi kita ngebayangin itu loh. Masya Allah, keren. Semoga Simon menikmati, tapi bahagianya itu loh. Selain lagu ini keren, selain
bacot bu.
Aku asin dulu guys. Thank you for watching guys.